SalArmyOmaha.org. That's SalArmyOmaha.org. Thanks for your support.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Let us talk about the three most surprising things about modern LASIK at Kugler Vision. The first, how fast that LASIK procedure is. With Kugler Vision's leading edge technology, we're talking just a few minutes per eye. Incredibly speedy. And how about this for number two? How comfortable the procedure is. So often from their patients, they hear, wait, that's it? It's over? They make sure that you're relaxed and comfortable, as well as knowing exactly what is happening. And this for number three, how quickly you can get back to normal life. Patients typically drive themselves to Kugler Vision the very next day for their follow-up visit. So you're back in action less than 24 hours later. Kugler Vision right now, they have special pre-summer savings on modern LASIK or any of their other advanced vision correction procedures. If you've ever thought about fixing your bad vision, the Kugler Vision Eye Analysis is your first step. Do so today. Schedule one online at KuglerVision.com.
I'm Omaha Athletic Director Adrian Dow, and I want to introduce you to 3 Omaha schools that are playing a vital role in keeping our community strong. We serve nearly 600 pre-K through 8th grade students, most of whom come from disadvantaged neighborhoods. These students receive a values-based education with the family support they need. I'm a proud member of the Q's Fund Board, which supports the Q's school system. To learn more, go to Q's Schools, that's CUES schools.org.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Crossover is crossover dribble. Sing for the crossover.
Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane.
One of the most famous crossovers of all time.
Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover. Double crossover. The crossover continues to evolve.
You guys feel that? Big Ten, Black Friday. Did you ever think that Drew Carey would hand it off to Black Friday on CBS? From The Price is Right to now we go live to Memorial Stadium for Iowa and Nebraska.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
11 a.m. on CBS on Black Friday.
With Brad Nessler, I assume? Or is he out? Or we need a new guy?
No, as of right now, Nessler and Danielson are going to do Big Ten.
Yeah. Hell yes.
But
I love that.
But is there a doubleheader on CBS on that day?
Well,
because isn't LSU Arkansas on that day?
Okay, hold on. Let's go to Black. What's going on here? Hello.
Corporate Dan has infiltrated the proceedings.
Wow, this is like really creepy.
Hello, Corporate
Dan from upstairs. He's trying to act. He's trying to act like he's not 11 feet tall.
Yep.
Trying to act like I'm not on camera.
Hey, Dan.
Well, you missed the mark by a couple minutes.
What are we doing?
Trying to find.
Should we be concerned about something?
Lovercheck's white Apple Power Pack.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, we'll be on the lookout.
Yeah, we'll be done at 6.
Well, isn't that great?
Dan, how long you been in radio? This is a live show. We're not college radio, just like recording a podcast here. Okay.
I love it so much.
Okay, all right. Black Friday. They announced the time for Egg Bowl, right? Yeah. I think
That's usually like
that's gone to Thanksgiving now.
Oh, that's Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's night game Thanksgiving.
Like John says, wouldn't it be great? Bob Barker, man, I miss you. Don't forget to have your pets sprayed or neutered. Now let's take it to Lincoln for Big Ten football.
Oh, so good. Look, on ESPN, they have Nebraska and Iowa on Thursday. Incorrect. Inaccurate. Inaccurate.
iCourse has done it again.
So Black Friday, you got Nebraska, Iowa. Yeah. He's like, kill Black Friday.
Yeah. We're going to play on Thanksgiving.
Nebraska, Iowa, 11 a.m., Black Friday. And then the night game is the Penn State, Michigan State Ford Dome.
Yeah, on NBC.
On NBC. Other options on that day.
Well, there's the NFL game.
There's the NFL game. So we're looking at probably what, an SEC game in the middle?
Yes,
somewhere.
Maybe at 2:30.
Let's see what our options are.
Southeast.
I thought LSU and Arkansas are usually in that slot.
Georgia Tech, but it's at Georgia Tech, so that's probably no good. Vandy, Tennessee. That sounds maybe right.
Oh, that sounds really
Hey,
good.
Nick, you used to be over in that building. How excited are the people at Channel 3 right now?
Oh, it's probably, in fact, they might have interrupted. If we want to go to it right now, they might have had breaking news, interrupted coverage. This just in. And then they will, yes, they'll have that. We've got Black Friday football.
So do they get a new theme song, or do they stick with that?
They got to keep that.
I mean, I would want them to, but I think the SEC would get really triggered.
Okay, here are the games that day. Missouri, Arkansas is Black Friday, 3:00 CBS.
There it is. Let's go.
Do they have a 3-hour window for the Nebraska game?
4.
At 3:00 Central or Eastern?
4 Eastern. 3
okay, so they're a
Central.
4-hour window. Okay, there you go. So that's a good. You know what? That is very much a regional.
Yes.
Black Friday on CBS.
CBS is in the Midwest.
We got Iowa, Nebraska, and we got Mizzou and Arkansas.
Two, and you could say this is the good part of conference realignment. CBS gets on their pregame show and they say, "Who said conference realignment was a bad thing? Look at these rivalries we have: Missouri and Arkansas, Nebraska and Iowa. They would have never played each other had not conference realignment happened. Thank you, Nebraska, for starting this whole thing. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jim Delaney."
And also, so they do have a nice little buffer there because CBS will spend a lot of time in the studio show discussing the failed attempt to drive for 25 in Iowa City. How they had an opportunity at the end and Nebraska was able to stonewall them and retain the Heroes Here Today, Gone Tomorrow trophy.
Wow, yes. Now, there's a lot of people who want to get rid of the Heroes trophy.
I know there's a petition online.
There's some people who hate heroes.
Well, they want
apparently.
the corn.
Well,
they want a corn battle.
Well, I think when Iowa had it leave their stadium, they said, this is no longer a trophy game.
Yeah, we don't care anymore, actually.
Well, you know what is so crazy about how much we think about that is they let the players each have it for a day. Caleb Tanner just kept it with him. He slept with it.
Yeah, I think he took it home.
Garrett Nelson took it back to Scotts Bluff, walked around town with it on his shoulder.
Yeah. Did Caleb Tanner take his cigar with him too?
Yes, he did.
Or did he graphically enhance that smoke into his mouth? Or did he actually have the cigar?
That was the cigar.
Okay, yeah.
And if you've been to the football offices, Rule's got it as a doorstop.
This is the cigar from that one time.
Yes. I like that. That is like
5 days before I became the head coach.
Let's go. CBS, Nebraska football back on CBS. We got to go back to a game in Boulder, Colorado to find the last time Nebraska was like nice little regular season game on CBS.
You would know better than me. I mean, CBS Sports
Yeah,
Network.
it would be. It would be. There's a couple bowl games.
They did the Fresno game on the CBS Sports Network, but CBS mainstream, I mean,
I believe the Gator Bowl.
When was the Colorado game on CBS? Way back?
Yep, when they were. I do remember when they got screwed. The Jeff Campbell punt return game. Godowski was the quarterback.
Oh, God.
89.
Okay, 89. Yeah, I was going to say 87.
God.
Because, no. You know what? No. My bad. What am I thinking about?
Brun said
Orange Bowl.
87, by the way.
Oh, so regular season game.
Yeah.
They've been in, national championship games.
Yeah.
So 87, I want to say that was a CBS game. So the 87.
So Brun said 87, Nebraska, Colorado.
Okay.
Or 87, just 87. He said he didn't say Colorado in particular. Somebody wondered when the last time Nebraska played a football game on CBS was. They played bowl games on CBS, like you said.
They won
the Gator Bowl.
They won 2 national championships on CBS.
Yes. People forget that. I remember when they won the national championship.
It's very exciting just to hear that theme.
And then the other one is the
fantastic.
of course Friday night tussle with Illinois, which is scheduled for a 7:00 kickoff. Toe meets leather at 7:00 on FS1, which is no surprise, obviously. Short week against Illinois. National TV. What could go wrong?
Never does.
On the road.
It's all good.
And then Black Friday. Woo! Give me some more. I'm hungry. That's just the appetizer.
All right.
That was the mozzarella sticks.
So Nebraska, Colorado will be 11 a.m. Central Time. So there's 2 11 a.m. games there.
Are you sure?
It looks that way.
It does look that way.
You know what? So
I don't want it to be
hey,
true.
So yesterday, NBC got crushed.
NBC got killed
But it
yesterday.
wasn't their fault. So let's first talk about week 3. So they must have been the 3rd pecking order network that week.
Well, there's no games.
But so that's why week 2 they get Charlotte, Maryland, because the Big Ten's really good non-conference games are on the road.
Correct.
Yeah, so they've got no choice but to go with Charlotte and Maryland.
Yeah.
To pay all that money to get Charlotte and Maryland playing.
Like the other options that week. So Nebraska, Colorado is out. Wisconsin's on the road at Washington State. That's out. Iowa's at Iowa State. That's out. Illinois is at Kansas. Like those are all Power 5 matchup. Those are all out. So UNLV Michigan got picked up by CBS, right? I'm pretty sure that was announced last week. And the other options were like you could just go for the Ohio State number and say, hey, we got Youngstown State this week. They do. They have Youngstown State. Purdue's at Virginia Tech, by the way, that week. Northwestern's at home against UTEP. And Indiana hosts Indiana State.
Yeah, they have no – that was their only choice.
It's so bad. Rutgers hosts Temple on that weekend.
Yeah.
If you're interested. But that one's already slated. I don't know. These games
the beginning of the NBC run on Big Ten is not the greatest.
Well, they'll get a nice little kick next year.
They get Michigan State, Ohio State late in the season. That'll be ugly.
Booyah.
They'll get a nice little kick next year because then you bring in the new teams.
Well,
and then those conference non-cons will switch back.
Yeah, the Big Ten also will not. The Big Ten, I imagine, when they roll out the 24 schedule, there will be at least 3 marquee games every week.
Yes, they will make sure of it.
Yes, so one of their 3 partners does not get caught.
Exactly, and that's where they'll say, okay, NBC, you're going to take it on the chin a little bit this year, but next year they're like Tom to Greg. I got you.
I got you.
You bleeped it, but I got you. And then they put a sticker on NBC's head.
I got you.
That's what they do. They pick up that week. Did they pick up a week 3 game, NBC?
Yes, Syracuse and
Purdue.
Purdue, which actually probably will be an okay game.
That's fun. That was a fun game last year.
I mean, all this, doesn't it just make you reminisce about when TV wasn't as prevalent and we played 1 o'clock games?
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe they might kick off at 1:05.
I kind of enjoy the puzzle. I kind of enjoy putting the puzzle together. I think it's sort of fun. It doesn't matter. Like it's an absolute May 31st topic. Like none of it matters. But it's fun to sort of put that puzzle together. Oh, what's NBC going to do? Oh, we've been talking about this for such a long time. Why don't they make a bigger deal of the network draft that they do? Like that would be such a fun. Even if it's just a behind the scenes thing and you have to like do it documentary
how they
style.
select and draft the games.
Yes.
That would be kind of interesting.
Like I know that there's some things that they don't want the public to hear that comes out of those.
No,
like do it.
Welcome to my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I will serve you a cocktail here in a moment. I've advocated, why not do this live?
Well, that would be tricky.
No. There's no trickiness to it. You've got the 3 networks and they draft like a regular draft.
Yeah.
You don't. You'd watch. I'd watch.
I would
watch
a lot of people
hell
out of it. I just don't think.
I mean, because I'm
to
fascinated when Scott Docterman does the behind the scenes of how this all came together. You don't think you would watch?
I would totally.
First up is Fox.
I'd watch it so hard.
Tony Petitti, the commissioner, would come to the podium and they'd go to the Fox table and they would send up their pick.
It's like the draft lottery, basically.
Yeah, and you would start erasing games off the board.
Yeah, they start pulling. They start pulling lottery balls out.
I would love it.
So what if?
Yes!
Hey, so what if your feelings are hurt because you're not selected? Move on.
Yeah, but there's also some like, hey, we'll scratch your back down the road. Like they don't want probably that. But
no, we have that in the draft. We have trades.
Even if you did it,
Petitti comes back up and goes, we have a trade in week 3.
I would take anything. This is how much I would want to watch.
CBS has made a trade with Fox. As a result, CBS will receive the Big Ten championship game. And they will be giving Fox 3 weeks of football.
And $15 million. Cash considerations.
Still low.
Player to be named later also.
Yep.
Like yes, absolutely. I would watch the absolute crap out of that. But like that's best case scenario. But if you do it, even if you do it like, it comes out in July and you have to produce a whole like behind the scenes documentary thing and you get interviews and stuff like that, I would watch that.
I would too.
So because this year, when they roll out the 24 schedule, that will be the most attention anybody will ever pay to the Big Ten because they want to see how this is all going to work with your protected opponents and stuff, and who gets favored and who gets screwed because the TV networks are going, they draw good ratings. They might not be good on the field. We need more Nebraska.
Yeah, rivalries are dead, in case you guys haven't noticed.
Well, the networks control everything.
The networks control everything. They don't care about rivalries.
If the network said, we want an extra game, SEC, boom, extra game.
Yeah.
They say, we want Oregon and Washington in, and we're going to give you more money. Boom, Oregon, Washington.
That's why it's amazing that the SEC could still get away with trying to do 8 conference games a year. How has ESPN not told them, like, hey, you guys are bringing in Texas and Oklahoma? That's 128 games of inventory in the SEC compared to 144. Like, we need to, you need to do this right now. How have they not bossed them around on that?
But I think they will. So I think the presidents will vote on Friday to stay at 8, but they won't stay there very long. I don't think they just can't.
It doesn't make any sense they are.
Yeah, their commissioner wants 9, but he doesn't have the control to say we are playing 9.
He's very non-committal on what we want.
He would prefer.
No, he's been open that they need to go to 9. He goes, everybody else is, and we're the premier conference, and we're not. So, and he has his most respected coach is saying the same thing, but the presidents are like, well, are we getting any more money?
Yep.
And then you've got coaches that are like, well, why would we do that? Because it's hurt our college football playoff.
It doesn't matter for the playoff. It doesn't matter for the playoff. How does it matter for the playoff?
They'll get the most teams in.
There's 12 teams that make the college football playoff, and they haven't even decided if they're going to do auto. Well, I guess they are going to. Yeah, they're going to do auto bids, and then the selection process of selecting the rest of the teams is the same exact thing as it was when you got the most teams in with 4. It's you're going to get teams in.
But Connor, Kentucky has to play Louisville every year, so there's another Power 5 team. Okay,
here's a scenario I was thinking about yesterday. What would if a team from the SEC, and you're thinking, all right, we're not one of the top 4, so we're 5 through 12, and we're going to have to play pretty quick after the championship game. Would we ever get tanking in college football? Hey, we know we're going to be in the playoff, but we don't want to play that extra game in Atlanta to get ready for the playoff. We already know we're in.
And you get the home game out of it, too, if you don't get the auto bid.
That's true, yep.
So could we ever have tanking in college football if you know that you're firmly in and you don't need your conference championship game?
So
absolutely not, because that's not to the spirit of amateur sports. College football's tradition. It's why we love it so much. It would never, ever happen.
Example.
All right, Nick,
Auburn,
2000.
Auburn and Alabama. Would Auburn throw the Iron Bowl to not get into the SEC title game to get a home playoff game?
I mean, you have to at least entertain it.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You win the Iron Bowl and you win the SEC and you get the number 1 seed and you get the bye, because then you get the bye after that. Then you don't have to play for another 2 weeks.
Would Michigan or Ohio State throw that game so they don't have to play in the Big Ten title game?
Hell no. Hell no.
Okay, they're going to do it one time, and then they're going to win a national championship.
and people are going to be like, hey.
And when you and I are in, the 55 and older village, we're going to have a discussion.
You get the week off on the backside. Would you rather play in, garbage? Well, I guess in the SEC's case, it would probably be Georgia, but divisions won't matter. But it would be Georgia anyway. But the Big Ten, you're playing the next best team that isn't Michigan or Ohio State.
So they're going to make a case.
You have a good chance to win that game. Then you get the week off to get the auto bid.
They're going to make a case that playing in the championship game in the SEC is the most physical game we'll play all year. Man, we can't be ready to play.
The SEC is
I'm not
where
telling
it
you
would
it's going to happen, but you have to at least consider it. That down the road, if that is a scenario and you play the game, if some team would like, oh man, you know what? We'll hold our quarterback. We're good.
Who does
you know what? 3 weeks, you'll be fine.
Yeah. There will be,
because everybody's playing. Everybody's playing the RPI game. They're gaming the system right now.
Don't even start with the RPI. So who's like? So how about Tennessee?
Yeah.
Tennessee's running an undefeated season, and they're like, here's the deal: we got Vanderbilt in the last week. Georgia's already clinched their spot up because they played Georgia Tech in the final week of the regular season. They know if we win, we go to the SEC championship game. If we lose, they go to the SEC championship game. They throw the game against Vanderbilt and then take a week off for the SEC title game and then get the home playoff game the next week. But the alternative is going to the SEC championship game, playing Alabama or whoever, the next best team is in the SEC, winning or losing, still getting in and potentially, and then you don't get the week off. So then you have to play again if you lose. If you win, you get the week off.
There are analytic offices in the Southeastern Conference that are figuring this out right now.
Yep.
Hypotheticals for 2027.
It's just not pure, guys. I don't believe
It's
college
very
football-
not pure.
College football would never do that. It's not pure.
I don't know.
Hey, where did Brett McMurphy go? We need more.
Yeah, come on.
I just figured this was going to be like a sieve of information.
They brought out mozzarella sticks and then left.
Yep.
Turn to the Big Ten Network. I wonder if they have it on the scroll.
No chance. There's nobody.
What
in
do you
those
think they are
offices.
showing on the Big Ten Network? 80.
Campus seats.
Big Ten today. Big Ten football and
football and
60.
60. All right, who we got?
It's Ohio State and
the Wisconsin-Ohio State game last year.
This
will not end well for Wisconsin. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, so it's not on the bottom of the screen. My guess would
Not
be
yet.
there is not a single person in those offices right now. And they're all at lunch.
But
getting
Wisconsin
fogo de
men's
chao.
soccer did add Ryan Osborne.
But Iowa's going to learn their first 3 kick times today.
I know. See, why don't we have live coverage of this? We have to provide the live coverage. I guess that's
Yep.
fine.
But if you want to know where the Big Ten baseball teams are playing in the upcoming regionals, they've got that for you.
That's good.
Indiana, West Virginia.
That's good
6
to see
o'clock
that
Central.
they care about Big Ten baseball.
Yeah. Agreed.
The Oklahoma and Texas are expected to renew their contract with the State Fair of Texas. Meaning
through when?
Let's see. Meaning that game will still take place at the good old
State Fair
Cotton Bowl.
SEC country.
There are no plans to move the Red River Showdown from the Cotton Bowl,
which they shouldn't.
Good job by the SEC.
But now that is a conference game.
So Joe Castiglione says the current contract goes through 2025, but they will extend past that.
Okay.
Because they're still going to play every single year. Texas and Texas A&M may not play every year.
On the same weekend with the State Fair at the Cotton Bowl. Good for them. And good for the
And
SEC.
he's still okay with the 11 a.m. start? Okay. Just making sure. I know he didn't like that with Nebraska.
Well, has that game...
But that's tradition.
I know.
Wow, would they ever, and it's an absolute, if you've ever been, it's a blank show. Like the fans, and just because you got the whole State Fair is going on, and that's already and the Cotton Bowl where it's located is, not a gated community. Would they ever play the game at night?
If the TV network told them to.
Prime time, ABC.
So like all this is about, what are the TV networks like willing to play ball with? Are they willing to give some of the team, like whether it's a rivalry or a time of a game or a tradition, like are they willing to give some leeway for pre-existing conditions? Or are they going to say, you know what? Nope, these are all of our chess pieces. We're going to move them wherever we would like to at any time. Thank you very much.
Yes,
this is why we're giving you $500 million.
That.
Or $1 billion. Whatever it might be over.
It's our money. It's our terms.
I don't know. I think there's some wiggle room there somewhere. I mean, obviously, this is an example of it right here, where Texas and Oklahoma still get to play at the same time and at the same place. Like that's cool. TV networks haven't bossed them around. Like there's a little bit of a give and a take. Obviously, if it comes head to head, at the end of the day, the TV networks win.
Yeah.
But like I think there's a little wiggle room for some of the college football traditions and pastimes that we all once knew and love.
I'm not even convinced the Cotton Bowl has lights. Like seriously.
No, call them Musco.
Yeah, the lights people.
Yeah, they'll come in and put in lights.
Okay.
Like they'll roll them out on the little carts that they.
Don't you remember before they got permanent lights in Lincoln?
Yeah,
they come in. They have the big.
Yep.
That was like the greatest
The
invention.
catapult thing.
They're like, we can have a night game.
Yeah. I always thought about renting one of those to like play wiffle ball or something like that.
Yeah. Just
so cool.
You only need just like one little
Hey,
unit
so
there.
Yeah, it's like 3 lights and you could spread them whichever way.
Yep.
I want one of those for my backyard.
God, they annihilated Wisconsin in this game.
Why is this on TV?
That's a classic. It's 52-21 is the final.
It's a classic, but it is a classic.
So that's an Iowa company. They're now into building baseball fields all over the country.
Yeah, Musco, right?
Yeah, and their fields have the automatic balls and strikes.
Oh, really?
Yep. So they don't have to hire as many umpires. and also tougher and tougher to find people to umpire those
Yeah.
youth baseball games.
Oh yeah.
But that's what they're in now, is they're building baseball complexes all over the country.
Really?
Give us a few of those.
Yeah, I'd like to see a couple of test. Nebraska be a little test market over here.
We have
Omaha.
isn't Gretna open up a huge baseball complex?
They are
soon.
Yes,
Are they?
I believe so. Well, is it? It's over by the new high school.
Where's the new high school, by the way?
Not very far from the old high school.
Where's
It's
Gretna
close.
East?
It's close to like the Tiburon area.
It's closer to 80
180th
than
and
going all the way to the Gretna High.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Yeah, it's more like on 180th and 370.
Gotcha.
Kind of cut into the neighborhood there.
Does that open next year?
Opens this fall.
This fall?
Yep, this was the swan song for Gretna.
No, Gretna's going to stay alive.
Well, there's one school.
Well, they'll be fine.
Well,
and then before you know it, Gretna East will be a powerhouse,
Mm-hmm.
just like Elkhorn South turned into, and just like Elkhorn North is probably about to.
Elkhorn North's won championships, and
They have
so they got girls basketball, they got tennis, baseball,
Two
football.
in
Football is
baseball?
going to be pretty good.
Two in baseball.
You know, that's interesting because the Papillion, when they split up into Papio South, football never really thrived at Papio South. Now, the other sports have it. Papio,
they had a moment.
Didn't Walt Olson have a nice little stretch there?
They were really good at baseball.
Baseball was really good. Basketball, they never really took off, and Papillion had some good basketball teams. This was kind of when I was in high school, though, too.
But Papio High,
Papio football was really good when I was in high school.
Papio High, kind of, went.
Yeah.
Well, you had Gene Sir was the head coach, and then they split that school.
Yeah.
I mean, they in the 90s, Papillion La Vista High School in football was
they're
dominant.
great.
But like Elkhorn
They're
High
awesome.
has stayed strong.
Yeah.
Mike Muma.
Well, they've had, that Mark Wortman was there forever, and they handed it off. And no, I think Elkhorn High football will be good for years and years to come.
Yeah, they're always going to be good. I think Gretna High will probably be the same thing.
They definitely will have a chip on their shoulder this year because everybody expects them to take a step back.
It's going to happen that quick for Gretna East?
No, it'll take a while.
No,
because remember, you don't have there's freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, you need more students.
Yeah,
start to build up the student body, then it's
and it takes a little bit to recruit.
When does it happen? When does it happen for the new West OPS school?
So Westview should start having.
So
they're freshmen, sophomores.
Now they have 3 classes.
So they'll have
juniors
this upcoming year. They'll have
year.
freshmen, sophomores.
Yeah, if you were a
juniors.
sophomore last year, you're a junior, and then they have a new batch of freshmen come in.
So 2 years they'll have a full
cycle of
freshman
life.
through senior.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 2 more years.
Didn't they have to?
But they I know they played a varsity schedule with freshmen, sophomores in baseball.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How much do you think Safe Light pays Ohio State to be on the field? Naming rights to the field.
Safe Light great place. A lot of money.
More or less than Rocket Mortgage for Michigan State?
More.
Probably.
But
But Michigan
Rocket
State
doesn't-
basketball entirely brought to you by Rocket.
Do you think Rocket Mortgage gives you the hometown discount too, being a Michigan?
I don't know.
based
Where's
company?
Safe Light from?
Is Safe Light Ohio? I'm assuming it might be.
Terms of the deal were not released by the university.
Sure.
Isn't that public knowledge?
I feel
Though?
like that should
With
be
a public
knowledge.
university?
They're in there somewhere.
It is reportedly $50 million over 10 years.
Yeah, okay.
$50 million.
That's the Safe Light or that's the Rocket Mortgage?
$5 million a
Safe
year
Light.
for
Doesn't
a
that
nice
seem
little
cheap?
logo.
It is the largest marketing deal of its kind.
Is it just the logo, or do they get other opportunities too? Like they get other.
I don't know.
Is it like Ohio State football brought to you by Safe Light?
Are they in the program? Are they in the game program?
Yeah,
When
I
you
would
buy one,
assume.
they get a full
I don't know.
page. They get
So-
a full page.
So I don't remember watching many Ohio State games last fall where it was Ohio Stadium at Safe Light Field.
No,
'Cause everybody still refers to it as Ohio Stadium.
this is literally the first time I've ever noticed it.
Safe Light's corporate headquarters is in Columbus.
There you go.
Just like
Local.
Rocket Mortgage.
Buy local. Good job, Ohio
Now, Rocket
State.
Mortgage is in Detroit, but still it's in the state of Michigan.
Still buying local.
Absolutely.
$5 million a year to slap your logo on the field. Where you at, Valentino's?
Well, when you go out to the stadium and you've got
Hey.
you've got a little ping in your windshield, you know exactly who to call because you were just watching a football game that said Safe Light.
That's right. I do wonder how effective that stuff is, but yeah, anyway.
Okay, so that's a good question.
Like when they put logos on the jerseys and it says like Jeep, does that make you want to go out and
No.
buy a Jeep?
No, it doesn't. It's like, oh yeah, that's the type of car I wanted to buy.
When they shine the Jeep on the basketball
I
courts.
like this because I used
have a
to
marketing brain.
dabble in this.
Yeah.
What of the naming rights for all of the facilities when they opened to where they are now, from Quest to Pinnacle Bank to Werner to Baxter, who gets the best return on investment?
That's a really good question.
We don't call Pinnacle. It's not Pinnacle Bank
PBA.
Arena anymore because it's always PBA.
Mm-hmm. I would almost say Baxter.
Like, what is Werner selling? Like, what?
Just a local partner down the street from the ballpark. We put our name on the.
But they can't. They're not like capable of getting return on investment unless people are
maybe,
like, "Hey, go to
maybe-
Werner Park
maybe
and
they're
I'll
getting
get a
some
job
new
there."
employment opportunities.
Yeah.
I can't go buy a truck.
You could be a over-the-road truck driver for.
You could work for Werner, but that only
I think
applies to truck
I
drivers.
think it only helped for like employment. Baxter, I'd have to say.
So, remember when Pinnacle Bank Arena opened? Wasn't FNBO the court sponsor?
Yes.
I think it still is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still on there.
So they had to have that relationship.
Awkward.
FNBO, I feel like
I'd
the
say
state,
I didn't
of
pay much-
Nebraska is brought to you by FNBO.
Sure.
You walk in, like when you're crossing into state line, it says, "Welcome to Nebraska," it should say presented by FNBO. Because they sponsor everything, which is good. They're giving money to everything local.
That would be a sponsorship thing.
Because the Chuck is the Chuck.
Yeah. Formerly TD Ameritrade. And then they got bought
CHI
out.
is the CHI. If I'm bleeding out, I don't really care where I go.
Yeah.
Just take me to
I don't
the
have brand
hospital.
loyalty at that point.
I don't think it's really about return on
No,
investment.
honey, take me to a CHI. We just saw the Jays win a big game.
Isn't it kind of just like, I want to have my name attached to something, and
There's that part of it, the
Yeah.
community aspect.
I think that's more of what it is, right? For something like that, that's more of a we
It's not
want the community to know that we support. And if you just so happen to remember us,
No, it's like a
in your
bowl
next
game.
banking adventure, then please,
Like
by all means.
a bowl game, that's mostly advertising.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
For a while, I had
Formerly
no
known
idea
as
what
Tostitos.
For a long time, I had no idea what Beef O'Brady was.
Beef O'Brady. Now you know about Beef O'Brady. Outback.
You actually be close to a Beef O'Brady's.
Hell yes. I'm going to get a Beef O'Brady. I'm definitely going to get a pub sub like within the next 24
sub.
hours.
I'm so happy for
Are you
you.
going chicken tender? Are you going Cuban?
Maybe I'll go steal some crab legs. Shout out, Jameis.
That's a was it a Publix? Is that right?
Publix, yeah.
Publix. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
No, sorry. I did. That was a tough shot at Jameis. I didn't mean that. I like.
Remember, we decided Jameis would be a good hang. He'd be pretty damn funny.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious. Jameis is funny, man.
Have you ever wanted to get, if you're ever in the market for some mayonnaise, have you ever wanted to get Duke's Mayo?
I have. That's a good one. That's
Duke's
a good
Mayo.
one. So bowl games are effective at this. Bowl game sponsors are effective. Field sponsors, stadium sponsors, probably not exactly what you're looking for. It's a little bit more.
Yeah, if I'm watching a Patriots game, I'm not going to switch my razors over to Gillette.
So if in the
Tom Brady, Gillette.
Oh, Gillette. You know what?
Doesn't Gillette employ like a shocking percentage of the people in that area?
Yeah.
I think the idea is we are
So
this.
that's why I think it's a giving back type thing.
Yeah.
This is the town. Like, this is the big employer in our town. Werner is a good example of this. Like, here's a big employer in our town. It's a big company in our town. Like, it makes
good
sense to
partnership.
have that attached with that.
Now, do you think if in the Lego world of building a new football stadium in Lincoln, if they built a new stadium, which would be smarter than trying to renovate $100 million or $100-year-old stadium?
Smarter. You want to kill Memorial Stadium?
Well, if you think about price, building what they're going to have to put into Memorial Stadium,
yeah, it's going to be outrageous
compared to building a brand new Memorial Stadium, where instead of you can decide right away it's only going to be 70,000 seats,
right?
Instead of trying to come down to 70,000. Do you think they would still call it Memorial Stadium, or would they sell the naming rights?
I think they'd sell the naming rights. I think it's probably just fresh start at that point in time. If you've convinced everybody that tearing down the stadium is the right idea, I think you have free reign.
At that point, just dig in and just take advantage while everyone is already weak in the knees.
Now, how about this? Brand new South Stadium at Memorial Stadium, brought to you by.
That's a lot.
Now we've got.
Are you all of a sudden in Ralston at their arena?
South Stadium. They're going to wreck it. They're going to build it back up. They might not have enough money in donations to get all the money. So here comes the corporate sponsor South Stadium at
How phenomenal would that be to have
Charles
a section
Schwab
of the stadium?
South Stadium at Memorial Stadium at Tom Osborne Field.
I want that.
Yep.
I mean, seriously,
So bad.
they're gonna have to get creative and finding all the money for this.
Yeah,
thing.
you got to maximize your revenue.
Yep.
I'm talking like
That
$400
would be an
million.
interesting day on sports talk radio in this state. People would have opinions.
I sit in South.
Did you see
Stadium.
what happened in the South Suites brought to you by Jack Daniels? Oh my gosh.
Today I returned my tickets because of the corporate greed.
Too corporate. Too corporate.
I mean, don't worry. Before long, players will be able to sell patches on their own uniform.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's only a matter of time before Nebraska's got some sponsorship patches on their stuff.
Yeah, but if you are a
That's
player,
called Adidas.
you're going to go, hey, how come I'm not getting any of that money?
Yeah. Better do it now while you can.
It's my body.
Just keep it for the high school kids. Sell patches on high school uniforms. Sell naming rights to high school stadiums. If we would ever build a central OPS only stadium that could house all the events, we could have naming rights for that.
I feel like there would be a bank involved in that one. I feel like that could be a good FNBO.
Yeah, it's got FNBO.
They're going to dabble into the high school fields. Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that.
I'd like to see a Woodhouse Stadium.
Build. Oh, there we go.
Woodhouse Stadium.
Build a nice little 15,000 seat stadium somewhere centrally located.
Can house
everybody
soccer,
plays
football, track and field.
Yep.
Graduations, band performances. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're cooking.
Yeah, but then there's the part of OPS is an absolute mess right now. Not the athletic side, but they probably have a little bit more pressing needs.
Tough to imagine they would
find
go.
some teachers first.
Yep. And it's a couple things down the line.
I mean, find some teachers. You don't want to teach like classrooms that have 28 to 32 kids.
I think that would be a dream for a lot of those teachers.
There was a hint of sarcasm in there.
Seems like it's on the low side, maybe. Northwestern Rutgers.
Oh, here we go.
Labor Day, Sunday.
Okay.
And
is that a night game?
Televised by CBS at 11 a.m.
That's a Sunday game?
On Sunday?
Labor Day.
Oh,
Monday. Wait, Monday?
Oh, the day before Labor Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sunday.
Sorry.
11 a.m. Is that in Evanston or New Jersey?
It is in Jersey.
Real sickos game.
Welcome to Piscataway.
At 11,
the birthplace of college football.
So noon on Sunday of Labor Day weekend, when people in that part of the country have one last go around, they're at the beach, the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh,
you watch Northwestern. Talk about a Barry job. Oh my god,
that'll be a good promotion. Come dressed as an empty seat. Why do we do that to ourselves? We got Rutgers Northwestern is playing right away.
CBS needed something, man.
Bury that game somewhere else.
No, but like it's better than burying it somewhere on Saturday. CBS grabs it and put it on Sunday. Like we just read you our other options.
I will tell you
for week one.
One of my favorites is that Sunday night college football game, like at 6:00.
Yeah, the SEC game. Which
is great because you've got the Monday game.
Florida State.
The Monday game stands alone. Like this past year, it was LSU and Florida State, and then the next night was Ole Miss and whoever they played.
Yeah.
But
it was in the Sugar Bowl. It was in the Dome.
But the Sunday night game. Because Oklahoma used to always play in that game.
Yeah.
That's a great spot. Nobody else is playing. Everybody else can watch you. I like that spot. I always thought Nebraska, they should pursue that. Because you don't have to work the next day.
Mm-hmm.
You got time to get in and get out.
Yeah.
But you have a night game where the entire country wants to watch something on Sunday night. Remember the big Notre Dame Texas game where Notre Dame or Texas wins and what's his name? Tessitore goes, Texas is back. That was the Sunday night game. Everybody was watching.
LSU, Florida State.
Last year, yeah.
Last year,
and remember, at the time we thought LSU was an absolute mess.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That turned out okay for them last year.
Yeah, they were fine.
But it collectively, it seemed like all of college football was watching that because you'd made it through the Thursday, the Friday, the Saturday, and you had a standalone game.
And there's no NFL.
No, there's no NFL.
Noon on a Sunday. I feel like, yeah.
Why not? Why not? It's better than putting it on Saturday. Like people, we might be starving for this, just like we'll be starving for Maryland and Charlotte. Maryland, Charlotte sounds good to me. Sign me up. I'd poke my head in. I definitely poked my head in at Rutgers Northwestern at 11 o'clock on Labor Day. So I woke up.
Because you're
I'm
a sicko.
Yeah, I'm hungover.
Well,
I'm like,
remember
give
around
me the remote.
Remember around here, we don't have to worry about our Saturday because Nebraska plays on Thursday night.
That's right.
That's true. We're
But
free.
you're going to be worn out because you're going to go to volleyball.
Oh,
Then you're going to go to Minneapolis.
People will be at the Mall of
Then you go to Pearl
America on
Jam.
Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You're at the Mall of America. When you come back, you make it all the way back in time for the Northwestern Rutgers kickoff at 11 o'clock on Sunday.
Stop in the Pizza Ranch outside of Ames, have a little lunch.
Nice.
Make your way
Good
back.
stop.
Yeah.
Good stop.
A desolate part of north of Des Moines.
Not a single thing
35 all the way up until you get like into the outside of the cities.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's like a what, 3-hour stretch there?
Yeah, you stop off in
There's
Mason.
only
Stop off
cases.
in Mason City, Clear Lake, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the McDonald's or the
Visit-
Casey's.
See where Richie Valens had his unfortunate accident.
Wow.
What?
Is that where the plane crashed?
Yes, in Clear Lake.
Mm-hmm.
The Clear Lake little
That's
mini
not on your
airport.
stop.
That's where
from here to Minneapolis.
Was that the day the music died?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I should go there. I love that song.
They still have the what's it called? The surf ballroom
Never been to
where
Clear
they
Lake.
had it where he had his last performance. Where he and the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly,
And
the
Buddy
surf ballroom.
Holly.
There's
That's
still
not
concerts
a
there.
stop when you drive to Minneapolis.
No, never.
That's a stop for me.
I've never considered it. I didn't even know that was where it happened.
Clear Lake is
Well,
it's a big lake.
I don't stop there because of that. It's a good.
That's what he said.
It's a good point before you hit the Minnesota border, before you get to Albert Lee.
Yeah, the Diamond
But you're-
Joe Casino.
You're Des Moines to Mason City, right there, that exit.
Yeah.
And then it's north into the cities.
Yeah. No, I never stopped in Clear Lake.
Go see those big
Hey,
glasses
Is there?
Yeah.
on the side of the road.
Oh, I think I have seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to.
They got the cool sign when you go into Minnesota. They've got the wood carving of the state of Minnesota.
Yes, I have
The-
not stopped there.
The
and
rest
took a
stops in
picture.
Minnesota are like the best of the best.
It's very clean. It's true.
Mhm.
They take pride. Yeah,
Good for them.
they clean it once a day.
All right, I'll have to stop and then sing the song
We can sing La Bamba too.
or La Bamba.
Pay tribute. Maybe Crying by Buddy Holly. I don't know.
I don't think I will run into that memorial or whatever it is and start singing. Ba, ba, ba.
Bring up.
Yeah.
You bring up.
I mean, I wouldn't say too
You bring
soon.
up
but-
the.
I
You
mean,
bring up the song
sort
on your
of-
phone and you sing the lyrics while you're standing there.
Oh yeah. Did you write the book of love?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be singing that whole thing. Yeah.
Now you should just go to the surf ballroom. It's where they have like a.
The surf.
That was where the last concert was. Now, as far as the little air pad, yeah, they've got it commemorated, but it's not a big deal. The surf ballroom's a lot.
See,
cooler.
look at this. You know,
I
what?
love history.
I mean, stop there. Stop at the bridges of Madison County when you're
That's out
driving
the other
over.
side.
Yeah, by Winterset.
Yeah.
Say hello to my aunt Pat and Uncle Randy.
Mm,
They have a acreage that is right up one of the hills.
It
very
is
nice.
Clint Eastwood's birthday today.
Is it really?
Mhm.
How old is he now?
Gotta be 94.
93.
Nice.
Damn it.
But
And he
missed
lost out on his girlfriend.
He could have been making babies
Mhm.
with Nor.
What?
Al Pacino
Al
is
Pacino.
having a child with a 29-year-old
She's
film producer.
8 months pregnant.
How old is Alpa?
He's
82.
He's going to be 83.
Yep, he's almost 83.
He's older than De Niro.
Well, we were wondering if.
Well, and remember, him and De Niro were in the same movie. So she has a pattern,
yes.
Connor and Josh.
Yes.
So she dated Mick Jagger when he was in his 70s.
Mhm.
She dated Clint Eastwood when he was 88.
She likes the old dude.
She is now, once she gets done with Pacino, she will go after Robert Duvall,
Yep.
who is
and,
92.
and then Morgan Freeman.
Who's next?
And then
Take-
maybe.
so-
Well, we decided to go through the Last Vegas cast.
Jack.
Yeah.
So we
Jack
figured if you're in the Las Vegas
Nicholson.
cast, you are fair game.
Let's say she picks the next person. They stay alive for like 5-10 more years, and then we got to find somebody who's like 80 right now.
Yeah. So who's right? Like maybe who's even in like their mid 60s?
Who's next?
Because by the time that she's ready to move on from Al, and or maybe that's just been done for her.
Tom Hanks, Daniel Day-Lewis. These are actors who are
okay.
66 years old.
Okay. See, I think this is
So,
the.
no,
Hanks
this
is like
age
3 away.
range.
Yeah, but Tom is happily married.
Yeah, sure.
Christoph Waltz,
Oh,
Paul Reiser,
Christoph Waltz.
Alan Ruck,
Ooh, Paul Reiser. That could be
Really?
good.
Alan Ruck is getting up there already?
Paul
Yeah.
Reiser is how old?
66.
Oh,
So watching and seeing him in the Kaminsky Method. I know they added some stuff to him, but he looks like he's
well, she may
He's
be
up there.
content. Maybe Al might hang around for a while. I mean, it's not like he hasn't lived a rough life.
Maybe she's just like Al's, and then she could go to Al Pacino or Al Michaels.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but then you're getting out of the entertainment. Kind of.
She loses her identity.
Yeah.
Like she's after
she's
older men that are actors, and we're talking like 60 years older than she is.
You don't think she'd go after a TV
and
star?
isn't she a producer as well?
Yep.
So yeah, I feel like she's attracted to not only the elders, but she's also attracted to those in the film industry. I think Al Michaels would be too sports for her.
Okay.
She'd really be going off a different path.
So you could figure out.
How about this become that it basically in this game was just Braylon Allen Wildcat.
Yeah.
They could not complete a forward pass.
Well, what's his name is hurt by this point. And or is this still Mertz?
I believe it's Graham.
Florida quarterback G. Mertz.
Yep.
Oh, there he is, handing off.
Doing what he does.
Braylon Allen just getting beaten up.
It's a 45-7 game.
45-7 game.
And they're asking Braylon Allen to carry like 30 times.
You go for it, man. Go for it.
All right. Well, he won't have to worry about it this year because they're going to throw 40 times.
Yep. He just needs to know how to chip.
Yeah.
And
How's
win
it feel
the,
now, Braylon?
and
You don't
win the
even
Big Ten
exist.
West, according to Athlon.
Yeah. Who's going to win the Big Ten West?
Somebody who goes 8-4.
Cool. That could be Nebraska.
I love that. They're just like, you know what? We're just going to run the Wildcat.
Hey,
Nebraska's been there.
I mean, what if Rule showed up with this camping month with Why Not Us?
Why not us?
Oh.
People are looking at the Big Ten West like, hey, this thing's wide open. Why not us?
Too cocky. He's got to understand his role.
How many shirts would he sell if he showed up with a shirt like that and then they ended up selling? Would they sell out within an hours of the first day?
I mean, people buy any shirt.
Yeah, that's
nowadays.
kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Not because I necessarily believe it, but it's like, ooh.
He says, thank you to John Cook. Got the shirt from John Cook. Why not us?
Why not us?
What if he wore a shirt? If he showed up at the College World Series?
I got one of us.
Don't let the Skurs get hot.
Whoa. Hey, Matt Rule is going to show up at the College World Series.
Better not let us win the first one. Don't let us win.
Yeah, he has the whole Kevin Millar thing on.
Mm-hmm.
Now that would be. I like the marketing of, because this would be a knock with PJ and Prime.
Don't let us win
the first one.
Yep. Don't let us win the first one.
I mean, it's inching a little bit too close to the sun of Scott Frost saying, "You better get us now."
Yeah, better get us now.
I think it's a little too close, personally.
Don't let us win the first one.
Just don't let the Skurs get hot.
Don't let the Skurs get hot.
Don't let the Skurs get hot.
So people would be like, "Oh, you can't say that because you're too cocky," and then they'd be upset because he's wearing something that has Skurs on it.
Skurs, what? I don't like the Skurs.
We are the Cornhuskers.
That's all right. All right, you guys enjoy your afternoon.
Have fun in Destin.
Oh yeah,
safe travels.
Watched a little Feinbaum yesterday. The sand is pristine, nice and white.
Oh,
the water is bluish. It's not the other side of the Atlantic.
Yeah, I'm looking
the
forward
Gulf
to it.
water.
I have no idea what to expect.
A lot of tourists. School is almost out.
Cool.
If you do see Paul, say hi.
Paul. I will.
Paul.
But if you do have a chance, I go over. Your life will be changed if you go over on the other side and you go to the Florida-Bama, right there on the Florida-Alabama line.
No,
but you got to go to the bar.
I'm going to be doing some exploring.
Okay.
That's for sure. I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated. I'll probably do
I'll be following you on Instagram.
Yeah, chronicle this.
Oh, you on IG?
Don't you Snapchat?
On the gram?
Not much. No. Not many updates on Snapchat.
Oh, what was the last Snapchat you sent?
That's a good question. I bet I could find it somewhere. I don't know. Wait, actually, that's the whole thing about Snapchat. It doesn't save them.
Doesn't it give you a history?
I don't know how to find that.
You don't sound very invested in.
Oh, I do. I'm not. I'm out on Snapchat.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll
30 years.
We'll just live vicariously through you on Instagram.
Yep. Cool. Be on IG.
Do a little TikTok.
That's where the 31-year-olds are. All right. See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
That's the crossover. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on the crossover.
Want to meet Big Milk Kids?
Hello, kids. Let me walk you around the website. Some people call them podcasts, but we call them radio replays. Why? Because when you listen or watch 1620 The Zone, it's always AM radio.
Thank you, Big Milk.
Thank you, Big Milk.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Another warm and muggy day ahead for Wednesday. There is a slight chance of a pop-up storm in the afternoon and early evening, though most will stay dry again. Highs around 90. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. Volleyball outside hitter Nora Sis has returned to the women's under-21 USA volleyball roster. For the second straight year, Sis made the cut and will compete for Team USA at the Pan American Cup in Mexico. In other Jays volleyball news, the team announced a new assistant coach. Adam Kesenich arrives from Northeastern to join Coach Kirsten Bernthal Booth's staff. Kesenich also spent time at Minnesota as a volunteer assistant when the Gophers made the 1999 Final Four.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's, 2 locations, one in the Old Market and in Benson. What goes better after a wonderful meal? Say you're in Benson looking for a great place to eat. You roll into Taste of New Orleans. You get your po' boy, maybe have a little bit of gumbo. And what goes with that? Ice cream, ultra premium ice cream from Ted and Wally's. You swing into Ted and Wally's, whether it's a quart or a half a gallon or just a couple of scoops, you're going to love the ice cream at Ted and Wally's. So many different flavors and so many locations. 2 of them, in fact, Old Market and Benson. And when you go there, tell them Severe sent you.
Runza and the Storm Chasers team up to play as the Omaha Runzas. Be at Warner Park on Saturday, June 3rd for Runza Night, featuring a Runza reversible bucket hat giveaway and specialty Runza jersey. Get your tickets at omahastormchasers.com.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It is the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and some guy named Josh. Welcome to the final day of May. That means for some reason, I don't know why, but today is the day that we learn the kickoff times. I'm hungry. Feed me kickoff times. I've been hungry for a couple of weeks. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Snack.
And they gave me a little snack. Give me a little crumb this morning. They're like, here you go. Here's Nebraska, Iowa. It's at 11 o'clock on Black Friday. That's what we know so far. We also know the time, which was already assumed, for Illinois and Nebraska to take place on that Friday night in early October. That will be a 7 o'clock kickoff on FS1. Call me a nerd. I don't know what it is. I love this stuff. And I'll say this for sure. It absolutely 100% is newsworthy to me in the absence of any other things going on. If there was anything better to talk about, I would love to talk about the better things. But I do enjoy this game a little bit, and I like, I like sort of fitting that puzzle together. Maybe taking some guesses here and there as well. Like, where is this going to be? And now it becomes even more complicated of a puzzle for the Big Ten Conference because there's a couple more TV partners that you have to deal with. We'll talk about the Big Ten's new TV partners today. Yesterday, NBC announced a portion of its Big Ten slate. And yes, you may have noticed it is a bit underwhelming.
Just a bit.
Not their fault. Not a lot to work with. They got in. They're getting in now. They'll get a better deal next year. That's for sure. But there is no Big Ten. There's not much Big Ten inventory this year. And, the good games are going to go to, Fox. And that is sort of the deal right now. So NBC and CBS are left. CBS got the Black Friday game, which, the Big Ten the Big Ten Network, had really juiced up over the last couple of years. Say, hey man, this is a really good deal for us. We get a lot of people to watch it. It's one of the most watched games of the weekend. It's definitely the most watched game of Black Friday. Obviously, you throw the NFL in Black Friday this year, and it maybe changes the formula, changes the equation a little bit. But, the Big Ten Network had made a really big deal out of that game, making it their primary, performance of the year. And CBS says, okay, good idea. Let's take that. Let's see what we can turn into. It'll be an interesting year of Big Ten football. I would call it, almost a trial year sort of for the networks, or for those two networks, to iron out some kinks, get your production right, get your broadcast crews right. And then next year you really get to blow it out with USC and UCLA joining the conference, and you get the whole shebang, and you get some good games. So this is kind of like the ramp up year. It's the in-between year. There's 14 teams in the conference right now. And there's just, like I said, there's just not sort of enough inventory for all those things. And next year you still have the two new TV networks, and then you have the two new teams, and you have no divisions, and you get a really big say. And this is the reason why you're at the table right now. If you're NBC and CBS, you get a nice little say in what the actual conference, the sort of reformation of the conference actually looks like. Are we canceling divisions? Almost for sure. What do our rivalry games look like? Are there any? Or I guess, do we care about them? How many of them are there? How closely do we hold the past to our bodies until we forge forward into the future? This is summer, and these type of college football topics are what we're going to be talking about for the next couple months. That and NIL probably.
Is NIL ruining the sport?
Can't wait. We got a nice couple months in front of us here. It's Nebraska football players, new enrollees or new freshmen this fall, getting onto campus yesterday for the first summer session, and players re-arriving back for their summer workouts. They're all the way in. This is basically when it starts. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Full transparency. I am wearing a bucket hat. Yes. It is awfully difficult to me to wear this bucket hat and wear the headphones at the same time. I should have gone back to the buds today. Hashtag back to the buds.
Okay.
And I'm wearing this bucket hat because it's symbolic to me. And it's symbolic for this reason. I will not be here for the next 4 days. It's going to be great.
You're leaving on a plane tonight, right?
Yeah, in a few hours. Yeah.
Nice.
A few hours after the show. So I'm getting out of here and just saying, see ya for a couple days. And that's why I'm wearing the bucket hat, because I'm feeling festive. This is my college World Series bucket hat from last year. Became very famous.
You'll be back next Wednesday.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right.
You will be missed.
Why'd you say it like that?
I mean, it'd be nice to have a Nuggets fan here during the NBA Finals.
Well, I didn't know the Nuggets were going to make the finals. Okay, it's happening. There's nothing anybody could do about it at this point. We're going, and I got my bucket hat on, and that's the official reason why. So watch along with us on YouTube, 1620 The Zone TV, if you'd like to, 1620thezone.com. We're seeing the game time sort of, inch their way out a little bit this afternoon. Of course, we'll keep you updated on all of those things. We'll go back to a couple things that we didn't get to yesterday. Never ended up talking about sort of the NCAA tournament field for baseball and the RPI and the over-reliance on the RPI and what coaches and people around the sport have had to say about it. And it's, we've had sort of reform and different ideas like this for selection committees, and we've changed it up a little bit for basketball. Anything you do is going to undergo some sort of criticism, of course. But it seems as if, to me, the college baseball RPI system is a tad broken at the moment. It could be, I don't know, tricked in some different ways, and then it also hurts the teams that are just geographically challenged, which, I mean, maybe that's the point of it. You're geographically challenged and there's nothing you can really do about that fact. But we'll talk about that as we go on throughout the show. We'll go through that NBC schedule, a couple Husker baseball movers in the portal, and then a retirement yesterday of note, some conference realignment stuff involving the Colorado Buffaloes. Take a quick look at that. And tonight at 10:59 Central Time, all of the early entrants into the NBA draft will have to have a decision made on if they are going to remain in the draft or if they are going to return to college next year. A couple local decisions of note: Trey Alexander, Keisei Tominaga, Arthur Kaluma, I suppose, as well, even though he's not going to return to Creighton. We'll jump back into Logan Smothers from yesterday and take a brief look at Nebraska's fun and cool and great quarterback history of guys that they have recruited. And then we'll talk about cable. So
you love talking about cable.
Okay, it's bad day for cable yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just a hit against it involving the San Diego Padres. Plenty to come on the show today. Always feel free. Email Connor at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox. You can tweet at Happer Show or at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. We'd encourage you to do so because today is Wednesday and it's a tweet bag. It is Wednesday, even though it doesn't feel like it. So we need some tweet bag questions.
Really snuck up on me today.
Look, I forgot about it too. Load them up and we'll empty that thing out in about an hour at Happer Show. Once again, tweet there. Don't think we have anything to any goodwill to offer you today. Just kudos. Thank you. Thanks.
Playing for pride today, which is the greatest prize of all, some might say.
You could, of course, call or text 402-951-1620. Watch along at 1620thezone.com and comment there as well. Mitch Sherman, Robin Washut on the show today. The lineup powered by the Roofery's John Higgins Weather Guard. Okay, did I get it all out of the way?
I think so.
Sounds good to me. Let's get this thing rolling on the final day of May in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Kathy Kenoyer with Kenoyer Garden Center. The beauty and color of spring is in our greenhouse, featuring thousands of gorgeous hanging baskets and hundreds of varieties of Kenoyer grown product. Come in and talk with our family of employees who will help you find what you're looking for. Whether it's home decor, annuals, perennials, shrubs, tropicals, or vegetables, we have it all. Kenoyer Garden Center is located between Highway 370 and Cornhusker on 66th Street in Papillion. Open daily, 9 to 7.
At Kenoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
Did you know the Salvation Army has thrift stores conveniently located around the Omaha metro area, and each one has bargains you won't find anywhere else? Come in today for deals on clothing, accessories, furniture, kitchenware, and more. Stop by, get a great deal, and make a big difference for people in need. For a list of store locations, just go to salarmyomaha.org. That's salarmyomaha.org. Thanks for your support.
Save big when you shop at Woodhouse Ford in Plattsmouth during our hail sale. Take advantage of additional discounts on the Ford F-150, Explorer, Edge, and Escape. Now is the time to purchase your next vehicle with Woodhouse Ford in Plattsmouth. Our knowledgeable and friendly sales staff is ready to assist you in your car buying journey. Find the Ford you've always wanted at a discounted price for a limited time. Shop all our inventory and savings now at WoodhouseFordSouth.com.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, how about some interesting nature facts to get you outdoors? Did you know that Nebraska has more than 70 state parklands, more than 100 species of fish, more than 400 species of birds, and more than 1,500 species of native plants? We do. You need more numbers? Go online to the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. Question for you. Planning to be on the water this season? Great. But remember, wear your life jacket. Keep in mind that most people who drown in boating accidents are not wearing theirs. It's like I tell folks all the time, life jackets, they float, you don't on the water, so why wouldn't you be wearing yours? Please think about that and be safe. I'm Greg Wagner with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. PACE provides an opportunity to develop discipline, self-esteem, and positive moral values through wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
I'm Giselle. I received a kidney transplant.
My name is Scott, and my mother-in-law has kidney disease.
I'm Miles. My grandma's on dialysis.
I'm Barb. My husband has IgA nephropathy.
I'm Buffy. My mom is a living kidney donor.
I'm Lisa Sensel, Executive Director for the Nebraska Kidney Association. I'd like to invite you to join us at the Sheriff's Fair Color Run on June 4th at Peak Performance at 78th and Cass. For more information, go to www.kidneyne.org.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Tough day for NBC yesterday. Brett McMurphy, who's been breaking a lot of the television stuff over the last couple days, tweeted this. This tweet was viewed by over 1 million people on Twitter yesterday. Big Ten's NBC. What's that?
So you know it's good.
So you know it's good. It's the good stuff. Thank you, Brett. I still wonder where the coaches' birthdays are, though. Mm-hmm. Big Ten's NBC September schedule includes the following. September 2nd, West Virginia, Penn State. September 9th, Charlotte and Maryland. And September 16th, Syracuse and Purdue. So this is like,
everybody saw this like, wow, NBC paid $350 million into this deal to get this year. And here's a few things that you need to know about it first. Once again, next year, things get straightened out a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Big Ten say, hey, we'll give you even more of a, you're going to take it on the chin this year. We're going to give you a little bit better of a deal because of how bad of one you got this year. And that's, frankly, it's happened for a couple reasons. Number one, there's just not enough inventory for 3 major television networks to all get primetime games with only 14 teams in the conference. There's going to be some unwanted stuff, especially, and this is reason number 2, especially in the non-con slate. I want to go through the first couple weeks of the Big Ten season with you all momentarily here, and we could just sort of look at the games and kind of grade them a little bit. But there's just the Big Ten, all of their major non-conference, like Power 5 games are basically on the road this year. And that's just the way it's split. That's just the way it sort of worked.
Odd.
It is odd. I mean, there's no way anybody was like working together to make that happen. It's just, I mean, the schools schedule the individual games. It just was bad coincidence, I suppose, this year. And then the other ones are picked up. So there's just are picked up by Fox. So there's just not enough to go around, especially in the non-con. So before we jump to conclusions of like, hey, NBC getting a really raw deal. NBC's getting a really raw deal this year. But what they get by buying the Big Ten Conference or by buying into the Big Ten Conference is a say in how things go going forward. Remember, we're a blank slate going into next year. We don't have a schedule. We don't have a format. We got 2 new teams. We're going to mix up that pot a little bit. Get out the big old spoon and just stir it up. And NBC and CBS, the Big Ten's new television partners, get a massive say in that. That's what they spent their $350 million on, and they'll get great games because of it. They'll get more great games because of it. And, of course, Fox will still be a huge presence. And, like, I wonder what games BTN ends up with. You know what I mean? Like, that's – and it's not like it's Fox going up against BTN, but you're not going to see quite as much going on in there either. It'll just be sort of the extra games for the week. So let me explain to you how rough the first couple weeks of the Big Ten non-conference slate is. Remember, the Big Ten road games are not road non-conference games, are controlled by whatever conference of the team that they're going to is. So it's not controlled by the Big Ten Conference, so it's not a part of their media deal. And so here's what we have. Just give me like a noise or like a grade. You do your traditional 1 to 5 or whatever it might be on all of these. I'd be surprised if we got any.
What did we used to do? It was a grunt or a fart sound or.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Give me something guttural. On these. So this is weekend number 1 outside of the pre-weekend games, which would be Nebraska, Minnesota, and Central Michigan, Michigan State, by the way. Here we go. Towson, Maryland. Nice. Good start. Purdue, Fresno State. Rutgers, Northwestern, which has been picked up by CBS for the Sunday of Labor Day weekend. Buffalo, Wisconsin. Toledo, Illinois. Ohio State, Indiana. I assume that's. I think that's already been picked up for Fox for Big Noon. I would assume. Utah State, Iowa. Okay. Yeah, the pause was enough there. I sort of like that. East Carolina, Michigan. And West Virginia, Penn State, which has already been picked up for NBC. So the Big Ten teams are at home quite a bit in week 1. Here's where it gets a little sloppy.
A lot of meh in there.
So once again, this is not going week 2. This is not going to include Nebraska, Colorado, which is at a Pac-12 school. It is not going to include Wisconsin at Washington State. It is not going to include Iowa at Iowa State. It is not going to include Illinois at Kansas. And it is not going to include Purdue at Virginia Tech. Those are already lopped off the top.
Those are all decent.
Those are all decent games.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at it from a TV viewership standpoint, like you could do something there. Here's what you're left with. Michigan State hosting Richmond. Rutgers hosting Temple.
Very regional.
Indiana hosting Indiana State. Maryland hosting Charlotte, which was ultimately selected by NBC. Michigan UNLV, which I think was picked up by CBS, right? Or maybe that game was already picked up, so that was off the table too. Minnesota hosts Eastern Michigan. Northwestern hosts UTEP. Ohio State hosts Youngstown State, and Penn State hosts Delaware. All right. We move on to week 3 in the non-conference, where the following games are off the table. Northwestern, Duke. Sorry. Don't get to pick that one. It's on the road for the Big Ten team. And let's see. Minnesota, North Carolina is off the table. And that's it. It gets a little better in week 3. And I think some of these games, it's so hard to keep track of exactly what's what. But I think some of these games have already been picked up. We got some conference games. Penn State, Illinois is a conference game that week. And then that's the Syracuse-Purdue week, which NBC decided to go with. Louisville and Indiana. Indiana's at home against Louisville. Nebraska, Northern Illinois. Iowa, Western Michigan. Maryland, Virginia. Michigan, Bowling Green. Michigan State hosts Washington. That's a game.
Yep.
Ohio State hosts Western Kentucky. Rutgers hosts Virginia Tech. What's up, Virginia? And then Wisconsin hosts Georgia Southern. Oh no, not Georgia Southern.
Watch out for them.
That's horrible news. Yeah,
they'll get you.
How about Virginia Tech going back-to-back Big Ten games? They host Purdue and then they go to Rutgers the next week. So that's what you're dealing with. That's what you're working with. And so the Big Ten are in its TV networks are, like I said, it's taking it on the chin a little bit in the first couple weeks of the season.
Really are.
It'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out with 3. And like I said, maybe I'm the only person who's interested in this. Maybe I'm the only person who's like, this is a fascinating puzzle piece to put together. But you got to appease everybody. And this is it doesn't have to be a negative, but there's pros and cons, I guess, and there's a few takeaways when you get into the situation the Big Ten has rolled itself into, which is you have 3 major network television partners where you want to own the day, right? Mm-hmm. And there is 100% absolute value to that. That was the way to go if you're not going to be on ESPN all day like the SEC is. Like this is the sort of antithesis of that. You have a good game at 11 o'clock on Fox. You have a good game at 2:30 or 3 o'clock on CBS. And you have a really good game at 6:30 or 7 o'clock on NBC. But then there's the rest of it. And there's only those 3. Usually you'll be able to fill the 3. Sometimes as you get in later in the season, there's some weeks we've known these weeks before in the Big Ten Conference. There's about 1 good game. Sometimes there's 0 good games in the Big Ten per week. And Big Fox will take the biggest one that they can, and then the rest of the scraps, NBC and CBS sort of get to fight over, and then the rest of the scraps are on BTN. After that, there's just not enough. So this is part of the deal when you bring in all these major networks, and you have to appease them. So if you want any clues on how 2024 is going to look, and we talked about this a little bit in the crossover, like there is going to be, I think, in my opinion, some give and take between the networks and the schools wanting to play their rivals, but maybe they aren't such good TV games. And the schools wanting to maybe say, hey, look, man, can you lighten up on us just a little bit? Mm-hmm. Like I know, Nebraska is a big TV draw, but can you lighten up on us? That's just an example. Iowa is a decent TV draw. Can you lighten up on us a little bit? there will be some give and take there. But if there's a head-to-head battle and you say, hey, man, we don't feel like we're getting enough of this deal. If you're NBC and you go to the Big Ten, you say, we don't feel like we're getting enough out of this deal. I feel like we need, a little bit more from you. You bet the Big Ten's going to be cooperative on that. Like if it comes to a head-to-head competition, they're going to say, you know what? You're right. We defer to you because you're the one who's paying our bills. You're the one who's paying $350 million. So think of that. Think of that when in the days and weeks and months leading up to when we get our 2024 Big Ten schedule. And when Nebraska's schedule comes out and it says that they're playing some tough teams, you'll know exactly why, because it has TV in mind. It's a big change in college football. These are TV products now. The schedule isn't just made and the TV networks pick it up later. The TV networks now make the schedule. And that's the big picture change out of all of this. Especially when you're NBC and CBS and you've bought in and you get in on the ground level. If you're the Big Ten, if you're the SEC, because of your new teams coming in the conference and your conference, realignment and your changes over the next couple of years, you don't have a schedule. It used to be where there was, the next 6 years sort of laid out. We're not in that stage right now in college football, or at least in these two conferences. And so the TV networks come in and they're going to have a say on what the schedules look like. That's the change. And so that's part of the reason why it's so intriguing, I think, to follow for me, because it's a whole new variable that's thrown in that sort of just wasn't there before. It's different. Chris in Montana writes in.
Hi, Chris.
I'm excited about the Utah State-Iowa game. Excellent opportunity for the Grumblings in the hot seat to turn up a notch in Iowa City.
Ooh.
He says, you know what? I'll take that game. On the Chris in Montana network, I will draft the Utah State-Iowa game.
That's what we should do.
It stinks. Like, it stinks in a way because it's, I'm not just having this realization now, but like, it stinks in a way because it's college football is being looked at in the eyes of how many viewers you can get for a TV product. And the TV product is the football game. You're basically making, starting next year in 2024, like you're making 144 television shows, 144 episodes of TV. And you're going to have automatically some bad ones, but you're going to have some good ones. And you want to have as many good ones as you possibly can if you're the network. Because then the bosses come downstairs, and if you don't have enough good ones, they say, hey, look, we need more good episodes. Otherwise, you're canceled. Now, I don't think getting canceled is on the table in this specific case, but that's sort of the lens that's sort of the lens it probably needs to be looked at through now, instead of like, there used to be this sort of this sort of rhythm to it, right? We have divisions. We know who we're playing every year. You have a connected rival from the other side of the conference, and then you rotate through them the next 3 years, and you do it that way. And there'll still be some rotation throughout the conference. There's no doubt about it. But there was this sort of rhythm to it, and the schedule was the schedule basically every single year, and you got the flexibility within your non-conference games. And they'll still have that part of it as well. But it's just that's not the lens we look at college football through anymore. It stinks. I don't like it, but I'm interested in it. That's why we're talking about it. We'll wait on some more television times as they come through. All right, 402-951-1620. Want to hear from you guys on the show. As always, you can email Connor at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox. Coming back, we'll talk to Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Mitch has written quite a bit over the last few days. A little bit more on Daniel Kaelin, and a little bit on Tyler Knack. We didn't even talk about Tyler Knack last week. Remember Tyler Knack?
I remember the name.
Transfer offensive lineman. I don't know how much we'll get into that completely, but Mitch will join the show. We'll talk some Husker football. Next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Talking Connor.
The Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Odson on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, Dad. I love you.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Home is where your health is, where your family gathers together, takes care of each other. And right there with you is Nebraska Medicine. We're proud to take care of Nebraska, to deliver everything your family needs. From immediate care to neurosurgery, it's expertise you can be confident in. With locations throughout the region and telehealth appointments from the comfort of home. Find a provider close to you at nebraskamed.com.
Home is with you wherever that may be.
It's spring. Now is the best time to shop at Lenahaw for all things garden or landscape. Our garden center is filled with the largest selection of homegrown plants, flowers, trees, and more. The area's best mulch and soil available for delivery and pickup. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lenahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Email us on the Equitable inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can hit me up, agree, disagree, tell me your thoughts on life at Hanley at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Runza and the Omaha Storm Chasers team up to play as the Omaha Runzas. Be at Warner Park on Saturday, June 3rd for Runza Night. The team takes the field in special jerseys to be auctioned off during the game. Enjoy in-game stadium Runzas for one night only, and the first 1,200 fans will get a special Runza reversible bucket hat. Get tickets today at OmahaStormChasers.com.
Omaha Storm Chasers family. Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm with family.
Celebrate the college baseball championship at Templeton Rye. Whiskey for the strong-spirited with an all-star lineup of 4-year, 6-year, and 10-year reserve. Templeton Rye is crafted with a strong community spirit, the perfect way to celebrate your favorite team. Templeton Rye, whiskey for the strong-spirited. Available near you.
Creighton coverage on the Zone is presented by Barry Law. At Barry Law, we fight alongside those who choose to fight back. Call Barry Law at 402-999-7777 or visit BarryLawFirm.com. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
Hey, Jake, can you finish that induction range installation tomorrow?
Orders have really amped up at Nate's Electric.
We need to finish installing it first in Maine. Did we hear back from the grocery chain?
It's no shock he needs electricians, like yesterday.
Smart fridge. Everybody wants one of those these days.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Baseball season is here, and when you need tickets, be sure to check out my friends over at Tickets for Less. Whether you're looking to get out and see the Storm Chasers play or want to catch a college game, ticketsforless.com is your source for the best selection of tickets with $0 per ticket fees at checkout. All you have to do is download the newly updated Tickets for Less app or head over to ticketsforless.com or call right here in Omaha, 402-398-1999 to find your seats and get extra savings when you use the promo code THEZONE at checkout today.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
You can play. And we need people that can play.
And we'll never be royal. Let me live that fantasy.
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic, on The Connor Happer Show, on 1620 The Zone.
You can play.
Oh, speaking of the Royals, I'm sure Mitch Sherman was glued to his TV on Memorial Day watching the Royals attempt to throw a combined perfect game into the 8th inning. Did it grab your attention at all, Mitch?
Saw it on the social media channels. Was that Monday or Sunday? I think it was. You're right. It was Monday, right?
Yeah, Monday. Yeah, hard to know what day it is anymore.
I was. It's once school gets out, I don't know what day it is. In August, check with me. I was aware that it was happening, but I think I was occupied with other things. I didn't know it got. I think I was aware after the fact. So if I had known in the 6th or 7th inning, there's no doubt I would have found a way to get in front of a TV. But it was too late. I believe the perfection had already been lost by the time I knew about it.
It got real because I was actually watching the game and I like called down to my wife. I was like, "Hey, I think you got to come down and watch this." And immediately when she sat down, Nolan Arenado got a base hit, and that's usually how it goes.
You were almost there, right? I mean, when did you go?
I went. I was at the game on Saturday, but that was on Monday in St. Louis, though.
Okay. Well, they had left town. Yeah. How was it? Good experience at the K this year? I haven't been there yet, and it might happen in July.
It was great, man. We had really good seats, which was fantastic, and it was I was saying that I don't think I'd ever been there when the temperature was in between 70 degrees and 80 degrees. So it was like a perfect day. The Royals lost, but Salvador Perez hit a home run, so I was really fine with the whole experience.
That's good. I mean, I've been there when the temperature was between 70 and 80, but the 50-mile-an-hour wind didn't necessarily make for a nice day. There have been a few nice days, but usually you're right. It's too hot or too cold.
Yep.
Was the stadium in a state of disrepair, as so many of the Royals fans have claimed here, as John Sherman tries to dispatch of the K and move this team downtown?
I didn't notice anything particularly worse, except for around the stadium. As I'm sure you heard, the famous Denny's burnt down, and so there's like a grand total of like 3 businesses that are within like a mile of Kauffman Stadium now. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's never really been a hot spot of commercial activity. Back in the glory days with the Adams Mark Hotel.
Yes.
You probably don't. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. The Adams Mark Hotel behind right field, and it was like a dream of mine as a child to stay there. I thought it was like the most luxurious hotel in the world, because there was a time, I think, when the visiting teams stayed there. They've long ago gone downtown, but even then you had the Denny's. The Denny's, that's kind of sad that the Denny's burned down, but you had the Denny's and then maybe like a McDonald's or something else, something, but
yeah,
not the place to go.
Not a hub, not exactly a hub area. Yeah, you could tell, and they're gearing up to move out here in a few years. All right, Mitch Sherman of The Athletic is with us. What are you doing today? Are you just waiting around for these scheduled times? Is that pretty much it?
No, I've got leftover questions from a mailbag a couple of weeks ago, and these are more like, how do you think the season's going to go kind of stuff. I left them out and wrote about timely things in May, and so I'm getting back to it here, and a few other things on the agenda. So it's gearing up to be a busy month. It's June tomorrow, and June is important for college football, especially now with everything that's happening in recruiting, and you have official visitors coming in starting this weekend, and there's going to be excitement and drama with that. I think this is going to be the month that people thought maybe April would be for this recruiting class, where things are going to fill up with commits and probably some kids with some names that people recognize. So football camps get going this weekend. The Nebraska staff's going to be out on the road next week, doing some satellite camp stuff, and summer conditioning is going. I mean, if summer conditioning, like a video about summer conditioning, doesn't get you excited, then I don't know. It's over.
I was just going to ask, it really doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to feel like there is some sort of like buzz about anything, and it especially doesn't take much when it's a first-year head coach and he and he sort of has the momentum that he has right now, or at least the goodwill within the fan base. Like, it doesn't take very much to get people excited.
All you have to do is put out like a 40-second video, or in the case of this morning, it was like a 2-minute video of players moving into the dorm. And I found myself like pausing the video on my phone and slowing it down to try to figure out like, what am I doing? But that's where we're at.
The one yesterday, they were walking into the facility, and I think it was like a 40-second video, and they had gained about like 6 feet of ground moving, from the stairs up toward the actual building. And that was the whole video. It was amazing.
I mean, if you can get a video inside the facility with like some finishing touches going on in the locker room or the weight room, I mean, that would just be the talk of all the state of Nebraska. It could last for days if they put a video like that out.
Yeah. I think, I mean, seriously though, it gives you a pretty good idea of like, and this isn't abnormal for any summer around here, but when you think back to, the summers and the falls going into the head coach's first year, the excitement, are you surprised that it's sort of ended up this way with the amount of, it feels like I that's the only way to say it, excitement that there's going to be going into the season?
I feel like it's been more healthy since maybe the end of spring practice, when people saw the spring game and recognized that this was not a national championship team, and some of the recruiting hype came down, and Nebraska gets Carter Nelson on the heels of Daniel Kaelin, and you get like a Mario Buford who's been on the radar for Nebraska fans for years, really since Marquise came to Lincoln, and his younger brother was revealed as a up-and-coming prospect. And hey, Caleb Pyfrom from Central is in town this weekend, and something might happen there. And you got the receivers at Bell West. I mean, that's gonna be exciting, and it might go back up to the place where we thought it was going to be in April after all of those guys came in, the national level of recruits at the end of March. It won't take much, but I feel like right now, while people are excited and everybody still kind of the honeymoon phase with Matt Rule and his coaching staff, I don't think it's been like out of control with the expectations and the talk over the last few weeks. Maybe I'm just like numb to the whole thing, but as far as like what it's normally like in the off season after a new coach is hired, I mean, the Frost first 6 months, I feel like if we went up in December, and then it just never came back down for like a year and a half. And this is maybe more healthy right now. It's like at a little bit of the plateau.
It's funny how that works too, because the head coach will talk about how, and Rule specifically, he'll say, "Hey, look, I don't want to talk about how many games we're going to win. We just need to win every day, right?" And do the whole coach speak thing. And when the coach talks like that, the fan base starts talking like that. So you compare that to the Frost era, and it was like, oh yeah, well, don't worry, we're going to win 11 games in 2019, and we'll never look back, and everything will be great.
I think some of that's the coach. I think some of that's the leadership and like who's out front in the entire. I mean, you could say the whole university, but really it's the athletic director. He plays a role in that, especially when you have athletic directors who are prominent, and you hear from them a lot, like is the case with Trev Alberts and with Bill Moose. And Bill Moose was in that first off season, or maybe the second off season after the first full year, was throwing jabs at Ohio State and Michigan, and you get none of that from Trev. No. That's not who he is. So I think that also contributes to a little bit more level-headedness right now.
How much do you think it helps, back to the sort of excitement part of it, how much do you think it helps from the recruiting standpoint to have the quarterback in the class?
Yeah, a huge amount, especially in the case of Kaelin, because he wants to be out front. I mean, one, he's close. And in a situation like last Saturday, when unbeknownst to people who follow recruiting closely, Carter Nelson, the top recruit in the state who lives 4 hours away, just shows up in Lincoln on a Saturday morning. Danny can drive down there and hang out with him, and they can play ping pong and just kind of chill out, watch a little film, go look at the new building. say hello to a few people. It was low key. I mean, like Matt Rule wasn't there and Marcus Satterfield wasn't there. Those guys are back home, or they're back in Lincoln now, but they were back in North Carolina, getting things ready for their families to move, at least in the case of Rule. I know his family's coming out this summer. So this was not like, hey, Carter Nelson's coming in. It's a big thing. I mean, and Matt Rule would have been there, I think, if, they had, this was something that was long planned out, and it just kind of happened. And Daniel Kaelin was able to be there. So that's really good. That's really good for Nebraska. And you can expect that he's going to be there this weekend. I don't know that he's going to be there every single weekend in June when they bring official visitors in, but it's possible, leading up to his official on the weekend of the 23rd, which is when all of those in-state guys, other than Pyfrom, who I mentioned earlier, are coming in. You'll have his two receivers at Isaiah McMorris and Davon Hall from Bellevue West, and Nelson will be on an official that weekend. Certainly some other guys too. So having the quarterback and the guy who, quarterback just by nature is the face of the program. Kaelin, he won't be there that third weekend because he's going to be in Los Angeles at the Elite 11 final with Dylan Raiola and all of the top quarterbacks in the country. And right there, that raises his profile, and the kids who come in on visits, they notice that. They're going to see him. He's going to be on YouTube with the NFL Network going through drills, and that matters to the other prospects.
Obviously quarterbacks and peer recruiting kind of go hand in hand, and you just mentioned it a little bit with Kaelin. And I do think, he's going to carry a little bit of weight locally with some, it's even his teammates. And that's a really big deal for Nebraska, especially when you look at even the hyper specific nature of what they need for the 2024 class. And it's not comparable to what Dylan Raiola obviously would have brought you from a recruiting standpoint. You look at it nationally, how good of a, you don't want to say backup option, but how good of a deal did Nebraska get in landing him? And then also what he means from a recruiting standpoint when they know that the 24 class from a local perspective is really important to what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's legitimately like A and 1 and 1A.
Yeah.
So I'd say outside of the state of Nebraska, there's not a comparison as far as the amount of sway that Dylan Raiola would have had for this 24 group in comparison to Daniel Kaelin. I mean, Dylan is a national name, and everybody wants the opportunity to meet him and say hi to him and potentially play with him. In-state, Kaelin is maybe even bigger than what you could have had with Raiola, just because of where he goes to school and that he's in the Metro in Omaha and that he plays with 2 4-star receivers on his high school team who have been in talks, and the meter has been moving in the direction of Nebraska for McMorris and Hall since Garrett McGuire started to dig in with those two guys. And, at one time, I think it would have been fortunate for Nebraska just to get official visits in June from the two of them. And now that I'm not saying that Nebraska's in the driver's seat or they're going to get both of them, but they're definitely in contention and likely going to get visits, if not already locked into visits. I think they have a much better chance, because their high school quarterback is part of this class, and he can sell it to them every day when they're working out, getting ready for their senior seasons. And then he'll be there alongside them to, make sure that they hear all the right messages when they're on campus. So it's big there. And the same thing with Carter Nelson and whoever else that he might run into from inside the state of Nebraska, whoever Nebraska wants in the state. There's Eric Ingersson, the tight end from Papillion La Vista, who's committed to Pitt and is in talks with Nebraska. You could potentially see him flip in the weeks ahead. Kaelin's going to be instrumental, I think, with all of those players.
The thought sort of hit my head, and you were talking about Garrett McGuire a little bit, but oftentimes when we talk about when we have talked about local recruiting, the thought gets thrown out there, hey, you kind of have to know the area, you kind of have to understand it. Maybe it'd be better if a person, who was from here was recruiting the area. Nebraska, the previous staff had Barrett Ruud in charge of, sort of recruiting the area, even those efforts sort of grew, I guess, a little bit over the years. But with I guess it's really a full staff thing, but also a Garrett McGuire thing. They have seemed to have taken the standpoint of, no, we don't know the area very much, but we are going to recruit it just like we're going to recruit every other area of the country. That feels like the difference to me so far, and how they've approached local recruiting, compared to really any other staff that's been here. Would you agree?
I think it's more like we're going to recruit it harder than we recruit every other area of the country.
Yeah.
Maybe not Texas. I mean, Texas are just more players, and you have more offers, and potentially can fill up a bigger percentage of your recruiting class with players from Texas. But as far as like the percentage of 3-star and above guys that Nebraska would offer from in-state, it's higher, much higher than what you would see in Texas, and just the amount of hours and per player and intensity that they put into recruiting in Nebraska, and the number of staff, full-time coaches that they have spending time at high schools, it far exceeds, I shouldn't say far, but it definitely exceeds any other state that's out there, again, per capita. So, you have Ed Foley, who, it's like a multi-pronged thing, because, and it's well thought out. And you have Ed Foley, who's like, he's the ground force. Like, he's the guy who's just going around to every school. It doesn't matter if, there's a prospect at that school or not, because the head coach there, might know the head coach down the road at another school, and they talk, and Nebraska understands the importance of that. And maybe there'll be a player there, in 3 years. So some of it's short term, some of it's long term, some of it's just word of mouth, and they know that the visibility factor is super important. And then other guys, outside of Foley, they come in when needed. Marcus Satterfield's going to come in and watch a quarterback throw, like he did with Kaelin 2 days after he decommitted from, or actually, I'm sorry, 1 day before he decommitted from Missouri. It was 2 days after Dylan Raiola committed to Georgia. And McGuire with the receivers, he got involved, and all of a sudden, there's a connection with those guys, and everybody who's met and interacted with Garrett McGuire that I've had the chance to talk to has said, this is, he's the guy. Like, he's got the it factor, instead of him learning from the 50-year-old assistant coach, or, he's teaching them things about what you have to do on the road to form a connection with these players. He's close in age to them. Some of it makes sense, and some of it I think is just innate in him to have that kind of skill in his job. He certainly has gained a lot of that from his dad, the head coach at Texas Tech, but some of it I think he was it's just who he is, and how he was, how he came up in this business in the short time that he's been a coach. So it's a good plan in state. They're not going to get every kid that they want, but there's going to be situations like happened with Teddy Rizak where, maybe if you had it to do over again, you would go about it a little differently, or maybe they wouldn't. Maybe I think they were caught off guard by the fact that he got offered by Notre Dame, and Nebraska would have liked to have seen more from him. And they're not all going to work out, but I think they're going to get their share, more than their share, of players from the state of Nebraska when it's said and done.
All right, Mitch, we'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your week, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Connor.
Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Man, how long has that been the thought? Hey, it's different here. You got to sort of understand it. We've talked about it with like being the head coach, just being on the staff in general. You got to have a little bit of that flavor, right? I would make the argument, and Mitch sort of, laid it out a little bit. I would make I'll take it a step further, I guess. Like, I would make the argument that, this staff, while having the understanding of how important it is, and really borders aside, they want to get the players that are near their school and can play, right? And I think for a long time, maybe those kids have been sort of, hey, if Nebraska comes in, you assume that it's going to work out for them. And Nebraska sort of approach that poison drip through, to take a line from Kendall Roy, that poison drip through to Nebraska's staff, over various staffs for a long time. And so maybe the fact that they're not from here, but they do have the understanding of, hey, look, we want to get good players. And we just so happen to have some good players in our backyard. Let's go recruit them like we would anybody else in the country. It's early. It's early. And you don't know what the results are going to be of it. But that is the approach that high school coaches from around the state and high school players from around the state have been wanting and sort of yearning for a long, long time. A long time. Because this is a long time coming. This just didn't happen overnight. You know, how many times have you heard it? A high school coach in the state, whether it's in the metro or elsewhere, Western Nebraska, anywhere else, say, yeah, I can't remember the last time a guy in a red polo came in here. You know, like, it's not just that though either. It's the way that you talk to. It's not just showing up and saying, "Hey, look, I'm enter coach here, and I'm wearing my block in on my shirt, and that's the game." No, like, it's actually developing the relationship. Yeah. It works over a period of time. It does, and like Mitch said, like, you're not going to get everybody, and you're going to make mistakes too. But as long as they have the coaches, the high school coaches in the state, and the high school players in the state have an understanding of, like, hey, Nebraska's going to be a presence here, and you always have to be aware of them, just as Nebraska's staff is doing in Texas and areas of Texas that they're familiar with, then that's what a footprint is. That's how a pipeline starts, right? So I just love their approach on it, just based on talking to a lot of people in the high school community for a long time. It feels right to me. But the results are yet to come. We'll take a quick time out. Josh has the odd news next on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
Is Omaha a Big Ten city? When you are in Omaha as a sports fan, not just football, men's basketball, the two top sports, does Omaha feel like a Big Ten city? Like Big Ten sports matter in Omaha, Nebraska?
No. Nebraska sports matters.
Yep, which is kind of where college sports is going, is you only pay attention to the team that you love and follow and cover. And the rest is, yeah, you do, but not as passionate.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Another warm and muggy day ahead for Wednesday. There is a slight chance of a pop-up storm in the afternoon and early evening, though most will stay dry again. Highs around 90. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
You never know who might be hiding a problem with sports betting, because it can affect anyone. Dads, moms, teachers, lawyers, blue collar, white collar, PhDs, community heroes. But there's one thing we want you to know. It doesn't matter who you are. What does matter is getting help. Contact 1-800-BETS-OFF. No judgment, just help. Be number one at getting help.
Brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Health and Heartland Family Service.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Saviv for Ted and Wally's, two locations, one in the Old Market, of course, the other in Benson. Ultra premium ice cream. You may ask yourself, what does that mean? Well, 20% butterfat. Been making it since 1984, and there's so many different flavors. And one of my favorite things about 10 Wally's is they make an ice cream for you. They've got keto-friendly ice cream. They've got goat milk ice cream. Whatever you're looking for, they have it. It's 10 Wally's, two wonderful locations, Old Market and Benson. And, of course, tell them Severe sent you.
Baseball season is here, and when you need tickets, be sure to check out my friends over at Tickets for Less. Whether you're looking to get out, see the Storm Chasers play, or want to catch a college game, ticketsforless.com is your source for the best selection of tickets with $0 per ticket fees at checkout. All you have to do is download the newly updated Tickets for Less app, or head over to ticketsforless.com, or call right here in Omaha, 402-398-1999 to find your seats and get extra savings when you use the promo code THEZONE at checkout today.
It's spring. Now is the best time to shop at Lenaha for all things garden or landscape. Our garden center is filled with the largest selection of homegrown plants, flowers, trees, and more. The area's best mulch and soil available for delivery and pickup. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lenaha Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Email us on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me, Gary, at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
What does Saul's loan on? Almost everything, like jewelry, gold chains, bracelets, earrings, wedding rings, and high-end watches, guns, electronics, $10 to $50,000, super fast and easy with no credit check. Saul's loans on almost everything.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. Last year, PACE served over 5,000 area kids with wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Back to the previous conversation, Matt on our YouTube stream.
Hi, Matt.
Who knew that actually in order to get in-state recruits, you actually have to recruit them? Yeah.
Well, they grew up wanting to play here. They should just come.
So I don't think it's exactly that simple. Like it seems a little oversimplistic, and that's how all the other staffs have been. There's been certainly a twinge of that, but more so of like, hey, we only have 10 people and we can't be everywhere. So where do we need to, which places, where needs our attention the most? We feel like we could get enough kids for the class. Like, do we need to put that much effort into this when we feel like we already have a leg up because of simply who we are? Like, there's a slight difference there. It's still an entitlement, but yeah, there is a noticeable lack of entitlement from this staff, which is nice. Josh has the odd news. Josh, hi.
Hi, Connor. How are we doing today?
Great. Paylocity wished me a happy birthday again.
Wow. 2 happy birthdays from the corporate HR system. I don't know how to explain it to the audience.
Sometimes you have to use Paylocity to get money, and this is the case.
This is the system we go through to enter our vacation days.
Some other companies may use it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But they wish me a happy birthday again. Wow. So my life is just awesome right now.
You think they do that for every employee or just the stars?
Well, I did shout out Paylocity when it was because they had sent me like a push notification. Like it usually says, hey, your check's here.
Mm-hmm.
You want to look at it? But this time it was like, happy birthday. Hope you had a good day.
Mm.
And that was nice. So I felt like I tweeted that out, and then they just tweeted back at me, which I didn't know Paylocity had a Twitter account.
I don't have that app on my phone.
It's nice.
Is it?
No, not really. No. But thank you, Paylocity.
We talked about this in the crossover. I had it in my stack for today, so forgive a little bit of repetition.
It stays.
It stays. I'm not doing more work. Actor Al Pacino.
Yeah, I do want the full story here.
Is expecting his 4th child at the age of 83. His reps have confirmed. Do the math on that. That child will graduate high school when Al is 101. The Godfather star announced his 29-year-old girlfriend is 8 months pregnant.
29. That's younger than me.
Yes, that is true. How old are your grandparents, Connor? Just out of curiosity.
Almost 80, I think.
Almost 80.
Yeah.
So not as old as Al Pacino. Got it.
Maybe just over 80 now. Yeah.
According to U.S. media reports, Pacino and I don't want to butcher this woman, Noor Alfallah, I believe is how you pronounce it.
Nice.
They've been together since the COVID-19 pandemic. That was a long time.
They got together during COVID, huh?
I don't know.
They had a COVID relationship.
Apparently.
Good.
Pacino already has 3 children, 2 with Beverly D'Angelo.
Nice. Whoa. How
People
about
forget.
that? People do forget.
In a career spanning
Sparky?
Yeah, that's right. You know she called him Sparky. In a career spanning more than 5. Yeah.
I could get that
Okay.
one. I get that one. Did Beverly D'Angelo call Al Pacino Sparky when they were together? Yes. Got it.
Pacino's appeared in The Irishman, The Godfather, Scarface, and Scent of a Woman, hoo-ha, winning an Oscar for Best Actor for the latter. Alfallah works in the film industry and has produced films such as Billy Knight, Little Death, and Brasa Nostra. I don't know what any of those are.
Sure.
But I watch a ton of movies. Why would I know what those are? She previously dated musician Mick Jagger in 2017. Pacino's co-star from The Godfather Part 2, Robert De Niro, recently announced he welcomed his 7th child at the age of 79.
It's not a race, though.
Listen, geriatric actors, just stop it.
What's the record?
Please
though?
stop.
What do you think the record is? Like, what's the oldest man to father a child?
Well,
that's Googleable, right?
Oldest man to father a child. That would be the oldest confirmed father in the world is a man by the name of Les Colley from Australia.
We're talking about new father, yes.
Who was given the Guinness World Record for this feat. The pensioner had his 9th child, a son named Oswald, to his 3rd wife at the age of 92 years, 10 months.
So almost 93 years old. Okay.
That's incredible.
Still got some wood to chop for Al Pacino.
Okay.
By the way, poll question up at Happer Show. Did Beverly D'Angelo call Al Pacino Sparky when they were together?
And this is a story that there's when you do an odd news segment, there's certain benchmarks you hit every year that just people seem to love. People seem to love this one. So
Yeah.
I will do it here. A Canadian woman has won the historic cheese rolling race in the United Kingdom.
That's the one where they roll down the hill and they all like get really injured.
Yeah.
Okay.
They throw a wheel of cheese down a hill. Everyone chases after it.
Yeah.
This Canadian woman who won was knocked unconscious in the process.
How'd she win? Then?
I'm not sure.
It feels like it should be against the rules.
We'll read on. Delaney Irving, 19 years young, was chasing a 7-pound wheel of Gloucester cheese on Monday. When she tripped and fell, hitting her head, she didn't realize she won the race until she later woke up in a medical tent.
Did I win?
Yes,
actually, you did.
Yes, actually. I still don't really believe it, but it feels great, the teen told the BBC. The Coopers Hill Cheese Rolling Race is a famed event taking place every year in Gloucester, with participants running down a steep 180-meter hill chasing a wheel of cheese. It can reach speeds of 70 miles per hour.
And it looks so painful.
It really does.
It looks like, it's not just like it's not like a turf hill either, It's unmanicured grass. It looks lumpy.
Rocky.
Yeah,
to a certain
rocky,
extent.
lumpy.
The race has taken place annually for around 600 years, according to local folklore, and now draws competitors from all over the globe. There are multiple races over multiple divisions throughout the day. Video of Irving's victory quickly went viral on Monday, with the footage showing her hitting her head before falling over the finish line. I remember running, then bumping my head, and I woke up in a tent, Irving recalled. She was one of many competitors who were tended to by paramedics on the scene. One participant had to be transported to the hospital for local treatment.
Yeah, that's surprising that it was just one.
Just one.
I feel like you have to be conscious in order to win the race.
Yeah.
But I guess that's not how it works in other races. You know, there was a NASCAR race where a driver became unconscious and happened to cross the finish line before everybody else. They still win, right? Doesn't really matter. All right. I guess let it get away with it.
And finally, we go back to Hollywood. Sorry to zigzag, but
no problem, Josh.
Ryan Gosling is telling off his Barbie critics who claim he's too old to play Ken in this summer's Barbie movie.
What? No, Gosling is fine.
Yeah.
Good job, Gosling.
Good
Tell
casting.
him off.
Yeah. Some younger Barbie fans have stormed social media after each photo and trailer drop for the movie to decry the casting of 42-year-old Gosling as Ken. A social media debate over his age has even broken out among different generations of Barbie fans. What does Gosling think of the age criticism being lobbied against him? He says, quote, "I would say, if people don't want to play with my Ken, there are many other Kens to play with," he recently told GQ magazine.
Weird thing to say.
It's a very funny thing to say. It is funny, he added, this kind of clutching your pearls idea of like hashtag not my Ken, like you ever thought about Ken before this.
Nice. Go get him, Gosling.
Yeah. Gosling noted that Ken's entire existence has been just to enjoy the beach and not really exist for any sake other than to be Barbie's guy. And everyone was fine with that, for him to have a job that is nothing, Gosling said. But suddenly, it's like, no, we've cared about Ken this whole time. No, you didn't. You never did. You never cared. Barbie never bleeped with Ken.
Is he saying all this?
He is saying all of this.
This is amazing.
That's the point. If you ever really cared about Ken, you would know that nobody cared about Ken. So your hypocrisy is exposed. This is why the story must be told.
I love this. Thank you, Ryan Gosling. I don't even care what you said, frankly. I'm just glad he went on that tirade because it felt like it was maybe a little, it was good for him.
Yeah. Little cathartic.
That was the word I was looking for. Dude, man, Gosling was already really high up there in my book. I'm a big fan, but now he's even higher. What a great rant.
GQ noted that Gosling caught himself laughing while sounding off on his Barbie critics before adding, "I care about this dude now. I'm like his representative. Ken couldn't show up to receive this award, so I'm here to accept it for him."
Did he method act Ken the Barbie doll?
Maybe. Barbie opens in theaters July 21st, the same weekend as Christopher Nolan's epic Oppenheimer.
The 9-hour movie, probably.
Hopefully.
Wow, good run there by Gosling. I'm glad he's back in our lives.
Got some things off his chest, it seems.
By the way, Swift writes into the text line.
Hi, Swift.
As by the way, you should as well, because we're just a couple minutes away from the tweet bag. Forward to 951-1620. The Pacino / 29-year-old girlfriend thing. It was Swift is calling it a Corin fling.
A corn fling?
A Corin, like a quarantine, but a Corin fling.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I didn't know that people were calling it that. Good to know.
I think when a child comes, it's a little more than a fling.
Well,
hopefully.
I don't know.
I guess not necessarily.
Yeah, well, Al is 83.
Yeah.
So
it's probably not thinking of the long-term ramifications of, hey, this.
Did he have a kid with Beverly D'Angelo?
2.
Was that a fling?
I don't know.
Probably didn't. Over under that marriage lasted 11 years.
Him and Beverly?
Yes.
I'll go under.
Is the number too high?
It feels too high.
97 to 03.
Oh, yeah. Hot and heavy.
So under. It's a fling. They had a couple kids. Still fling. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is indeed the odd news. Coming back, it's time for the tweet bag. Still load us up. We got space for more. Otherwise, fine. We can make it a short segment. I mean, there's a few questions. We're not going to stretch it for you guys. So now is your time.
It's Connor's last day before vacation.
And I'm willing to go there.
Yeah.
I'll unload.
He gives no bleeps today.
That's right. So join us and get in touch with us any way you can. And we'll come back with that next year on 1620 The Zone.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Your new Chevy Silverado is waiting for you at Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley and our new location at 112th and Dodge in Omaha. Receive 3.9% APR for 60 months on all in-stock 2023 Silverado 1500s when you finance with GM Financial. Check out our entire selection online at woodhouse.com and schedule a test drive today. Find new roads to Woodhouse Chevy, exit 75 off I-29 Missouri Valley, and now in Omaha at 112th and Dodge. With approved credit, see dealer for details. Expires 5/31/23.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your family's comfort and safety are a top priority. If your current air conditioner isn't getting the job done, Thermal is here to help. We understand you need affordable equipment you can count on. This spring, get a high-efficiency Lennox air conditioner installed with no interest and no payments for 6 months. You'll save now with rebates and federal tax credits, and later on your energy bills. Call today and you'll be cool before the heat of summer sets in. At Thermal, we make you and your home comfortable. Visit thermalservices.com.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 11th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let us handle all the details steps away on the south side of Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination. Blur Events takes care of all the work so you can enjoy the day.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. Volleyball outside hitter Nora Sis has returned to the women's under-21 USA volleyball roster. For the second straight year, Sis made the cut and will compete for Team USA at the Pan American Cup in Mexico. In other Jays volleyball news, the team announced a new assistant coach. Adam Kesenich arrives from Northeastern to join Coach Kirsten Bernthal Booth's staff. Kesenich also spent time at Minnesota as a volunteer assistant when the Gophers made the 1999 Final Four.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Tell us how you feel on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Reach Gary, Nick, Connor, Josh, and John anytime on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Contact the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. J-Tech Construction at yourexteriorexperts.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
This is the Tweet Bag. You send your questions in, and we answer them. Like no other radio segment ever. It's the Tweet Bag on the Connor Happer Show.
A day baseball is underway with the second place Detroit Tigers. I just informed Josh of this before the segment. And did you know this too? The first place Texas Rangers.
I did know that. They have not fallen off.
Not yet. 3 games ahead of the Houston Astros. The Tigers are 3 games under 500 and 2 games out of first place.
That's your division, Connor.
That sure is.
That's your people.
Hey, look, we all knew it. We all knew it before it was going to happen. The only disappointing part is that the Royals can't seem to compete in it for some reason, even though there's no team that are, they're the winner of the division is going to win about 84 games. So congratulations to the Minnesota Twins. Ooh.
Gets swallowed up by the Yankees.
Yep. It's tale as old as time. Still watching on decisions today from Trey Alexander, Keisei Tominaga, Arthur Kaluma, among others as well. There's some people who are attempting to throw out quote unquote reports or hints out there on Twitter right now about Trey. I'm not. We're just gonna wait.
Okay.
We're just gonna wait. We're gonna stay clear of that. And I know Kaluma was doing a workout today, and Tominaga did his Pacers workout yesterday. He got to ring the bell.
There was a Pacers video.
Yes,
they were interviewing him.
You see, he got to ring the bell.
No.
So when you go to a Pacers or when you practice for the Indiana Pacers, and you make 20 or more threes out of 25 at a Pacers practice, you get to ring the bell. And there is a photo of Keisei Tominaga ringing the bell.
Great.
20 out of 25 threes. Sources are telling me that that's pretty good, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay. See if the Pacers like him enough.
Is that a motivational I get to ring the bell.
Go ring the bell. Go ring the bell.
At what age do you stop wanting to ring a bell? Because if somebody offered me the chance to ring a bell right now, I'd ring it.
Seriously, we should get a bell in here. It would be horribly annoying.
Get a cowbell. Everyone in the building would hate us.
You never know. Corporate Dan might walk in and start ringing it one day. Who knows?
Remember that time he just walked in?
All right, tweet bag. We got a few things here, and there's a little space for more, but we're filling up a little bit. Go ahead, Josh. What do we have today?
We begin in the email portion of the tweet bag.
Yes.
From Brian.
Hey, Brian.
On a long road trip, let's say for a family vacation, what's the accepted amount of stops? Is it as far as the gas tank takes you, halfway to your destination, every 2 hours, etc.?
Oh boy, this is a good one. How long? How long is the trip?
That matters.
Let's just give an example. That's the best I could do. A popular drive, Omaha to Denver, or even Omaha to Kansas City.
Okay.
Omaha to Kansas City, I would prefer 0 stops.
Yeah.
1 is acceptable. 2 is unacceptable.
Correct.
Denver, you're going to have to stop at least once. So 1 is automatic. 2 is hard.
Acceptable bad.
Acceptable but bad. Yes. 2 is acceptable but bad. But also, I mean, there's time constraints that are factored into this too. Are you exploring new areas? If you're making Omaha, Denver for the 45th time in your life, then, you don't need to stop a bunch of times. But if you're making a drive to the beautiful American South, like I'll be doing tomorrow, maybe I want to get out and look around a few times.
Sure.
Maybe I want to stop at the Buc-ee's, whatever it might be. So, it's pretty dependent. It's pretty situationally dependent. I apologize for having a vague answer, but it's situationally dependent. But generally, the rule is this: you want to keep the stops to a minimum. Keep the stops to a minimum.
I would generally agree with that.
Next.
This is, I don't know. Chris here has tweeted in a question, and oh man, just preaching to the choir here, Chris. I'm right here with you. Dear Connor, my Cubs were recently swept by the Reds, and not just swept, but curb stomped. Then They've just won consecutive games against the Rays. Should I be more thrilled with the wins or furious that they were swept by the Reds? As the Braves, and this is me now, as the Braves have lost consecutive games to the Oakland Athletics, I'm furious.
You seem furious.
You
seem off.
I'm livid with them. Like,
it's 2 baseball games, Josh.
It's the Oakland A's, Connor. You could literally walk in there and go, it's the Oakland A's, not try and beat the Oakland A's.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. My team's probably going to lose. My team already did lose 2 out of 3 to the A's. It already happened.
Your team isn't vying for the best record in the National League.
No, but I still want them to win their games against the poopiest team of all time.
Yeah. I know in August.
I don't know what you should be. I don't know what you should be as like if you're pretending like you're a well-adjusted human being. But you're always going to focus on the losses, I think, a little bit more, right?
Yeah, in August, they're going to beat the Mets. They're going to sweep the Mets for a weekend series or something. I'm going to go, well, still lost 2 or 3 to the A's.
Yeah. You are?
Oh, yeah.
That's a weird thing.
I won't forget that.
It's at the end of the day, here's the reminder, Chris. At the end of the day, it's a baseball game. Anybody can beat anybody on a given day. You don't want to go losing series, but sometimes it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are a very good baseball team, which the Cubs are not,
no,
you're going to expect inconsistency. So I'd say my advice would be take the wins and the good things when you can get them. Even if your team is 17-39 and the best thing they've done this year is almost throw a perfect game against the St. Louis Cardinals, who are also bad. But you take the wins when you can get them.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball is 90% pain. That's life. But mostly baseball. Next.
Brian tweets in.
Hey, Brett.
How early should I get to Kauffman Stadium for Husker Night at the K? It starts at 3:10.
I like to get there early, but I'm just a get there early guy. Also, they're probably giving out jerseys, right? But maybe you have like a special ticket.
A jersey or a hat, yeah.
Okay. You want to... I like to get there early. I'm a get there early guy. I went to the game
1:30?
I went to the game on Saturday, and
that was also a 3 o'clock start.
Also a 3:10, and I was in the ballpark comfortably by 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't see any BP, but we got to stretch out a little bit, go into the team store, grab a beer ski, sit on down, and take in the sights for a little bit. Yeah, you want to cover you want to cover all the bases. I would say get there early, but I'm a get there early guy. I don't mind because we only get to go to a major league game a couple times a year. So in those moments, I don't mind spending $13.50 on a beer, which is what I paid. $13.50 per beer on Saturday.
Yeah.
It wasn't like premium either.
No.
Yeah.
It's domestic tall boy.
They got me. They
got you in there. They know.
I got some texts if you want them.
Yeah, please.
All right. Would you rather win the highest individual award or a national championship in a college sport?
Give me the title. Like I'm not being a team first guy or anything. Just it feels so good to win.
In college, the individual awards don't get remembered a whole lot anymore.
Yeah.
We used to remember Heisman trophies, but we don't do that anymore.
Correct.
Yeah, I think I go with you. Tweet bag from Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Pick one. I haven't read this yet. Pick one. Creighton men's basketball Final Four. Nebraska football college football playoff. Omaha basketball winning an NCAA tournament game.
Give me football in the playoff. It's better. It's better for everything and everybody.
Oh, you're just a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
You're just a businessman.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
I think that I would agree just because I think the reaction around here would be absolutely insane. Obviously, we've been starving for a long time, and we'll take the dive on any little thing that happens. So if they were to pull off a season in which they were real life and they made the college football playoff, yeah, it would be a problem. It'd be a problem for everybody. I would love to see any of those 3 things happen, though.
What would the reaction be if, let's just say this year, just for argument's sake, Nebraska makes the playoff, but then gets TCU'd by Georgia?
Fine.
Yeah, I still think everybody would be like, you know what? Might get steamrolled, but you know what?
TCU
Fine.
me to death.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm in the college football playoff.
Yep.
Let's see here. For the tweet bag from Chris in Montana. Being fresh birthday boys, do you think that there should be a buffer day on each side of the actual day with a varying degree of favorable attention?
I certainly would not turn that down.
I wouldn't turn it down either. I don't need it, but I think for how my wife likes to celebrate birthdays, that's sort of built into the equation, which is nice. Because she likes to celebrate her birthday and she likes to celebrate other people's birthdays. And she gets more excited about my birthday than I get excited about my birthday. Even though, and the people around here get excited about our birthdays.
Yeah,
we didn't
than
ask
us.
for any of this,
No.
but then I had a chicken parm sandwich and a Peroni and I was living life.
Yeah.
That was a great day.
What a day.
Did you ever get that nap in on Friday, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chris also follows up. He says, I feel that Josh should have had some type of birthday moratorium from his hating on Nebraska baseball comments. You think so Chris thinks the blogs improperly attacked you because it was your birthday.
Well, you know, they want to make it personal. I don't need to make it personal. It's not. They go low, I go high.
I don't know what this question is from the Twitter, from the hustler of culture.
Yeah, do you like either of those?
Well, I don't know what it means. If they had a broken keyboard, it's from a song. It's from a Macklemore song.
Oh.
It's from the Thrift Shop song.
Oh, yeah, okay.
If they had a broken keyboard, would you buy the broken keyboard?
I would not.
No, I wouldn't either.
It's a broken keyboard. What am I going to do with that?
You also asked, what would you run down a 180-meter hill for? Can you defy gravity? You chase the wheel of cheese. And you're the first person at the bottom. It's for pride, really. All right, that's Tweetback. Good job, everybody.
All right.
Thank you for playing for pride. You will be remembered when we have actual things to give to you. Don't worry.
We don't forget.
We do not forget.
Oh, Big 12 conference.
Are they announcing stuff?
We have game times.
Well,
1 hour eyeball emojis.
I don't care about that stupid conference. The Big 12. What are you going to take, Colorado? All right. Coming next, it's Robin Washut of Husker Online.
I know him.
What will happen with Keisei Tominaga? Not only the decision, but what happens as a result of the decision. Does he come back? Does he leave? And then what happens as a result of either of them? Robin joins next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
It's time to wake up your taste buds. Introducing my new Fiesta Line Chicken Pizza. Spicy taco sauce, generous amounts of chicken, green peppers, onions, jalapenos, mounds of cheddar and mozzarella cheese, and finished with a tangy lime sprinkle. Add your favorite one-topping pizza and my sweet cinnamon monkey bread. Fiesta Feast. Now that's a fiesta for your mouth. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Sundays with the Storm Chasers are packed with fun for the entire family. Every Sunday features free entertainment for kids 12 and under, brought to you by Nebraska Medicine. Want to get a free Sunday Brum ticket courtesy of Hy-Vee? Bring 3 cans of non-perishable food items to the Warner Park box office. Wrap up the day with Kids Run the Bases, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska. Visit OmahaStormChasers.com.
Omaha Storm Chasers family. Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm with family.
Hey, Jake, can you finish that induction range installation tomorrow?
Orders have really amped up at Nate's Electric.
We need to finish installing it first in May. Did we hear back from the grocery chain?
It's no shock he needs electricians, like yesterday.
Smart fridge. Everybody wants one of those these days.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 11th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let us handle all the details steps away on the south side of Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination. Blur Events takes care of all the work so you can enjoy the day.
Tired of having a website that doesn't reflect the quality of your brand? At JM Online, we specialize in custom websites for unique business needs. Your website should be more than just a digital billboard. It should be a powerful tool that grows your business. Awarded Omaha's best web developers in 2023, we're dedicated to local business success. So if you're ready to take your website to the next level, go to jmonline.com and request a call.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day.
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Let us talk about the three most surprising things about modern LASIK at Kugler Vision. The first, how fast that LASIK procedure is. With Kugler Vision's leading edge technology, we're talking just a few minutes per eye. Incredibly speedy. And how about this for number two, how comfortable the procedure is. So often from their patients, they hear, wait, that's it? It's over? They make sure that you are relaxed and comfortable, as well as knowing exactly what is happening. And this, for number three, how quickly you can get back to normal life. Patients typically drive themselves to Kugler Vision the very next day for their follow-up visit. So you're back in action less than 24 hours later. Kugler Vision right now, they have special pre-summer savings on modern LASIK or any of their other advanced vision correction procedures. If you've ever thought about fixing your bad vision, the Kugler Vision Eye Analysis is your first step. Do so today. Schedule one online at kuglervision.com.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Connor Happer, that guy, or that one guy, or some guy, Josh.
Some guy named
Josh with us. You're the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, and 1620thezone.com. We'll get in touch here with Robin Washut of Husker Online because we got to talk about Keisei Tominaga. People are wondering, today is decision day, and maybe Robin knows and he won't tell us. Or maybe Robin knows, or maybe Robin doesn't know at all as he joins us now on the phone. Hi, Robin.
What's happening?
Do you know?
I do not. I think I know, but that's bit me before, so I'm not going to jump in 100% and say that I know. I have a pretty good feeling that he will be back, but until that is officially announced and confirmed, you never say never.
So I guess I agree with you. It seems like he's coming back. It seemed that way for a while. The devil's advocate argument would be it seems like he just really desperately wants to play in the NBA. Obviously, I think the best probably opportunity he has to do that is maybe improving his stock and coming back to Nebraska. But I said yesterday, Robin, like if he gets a sniff of any possible opportunity, he seems like a guy that might jump at that opportunity. I don't know if he's going to get it, and that seems like what he's lacking in this situation. But he seems like a guy who really wants to, do that and give that the best chance he can.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously that is his lifelong dream, and if he feels that he's got an opportunity to take a significant step toward achieving that, then yeah,
Right.
I'm sure he's going to look long and hard at it. But I don't know, because I mean, at best, he's a fringe end of the second round pick, likely an undrafted guy.
Yeah.
And so, sure, you might be able to get a G League tryout, or at best be a two-way guy. But even then, it is so hard to go from that starting point to where the other hypothetical is you come back to Nebraska, you play like you did over February and half of March, over the course of the majority of the season, suddenly you've worked your way up into a much more secure draft position.
Maybe.
And you're going to give yourself, maybe. But at least you would have that opportunity. Whereas right now, I don't think there's any way he gets that chance. Now, to that point, the one team that he worked out for in the pre-draft process was yesterday with the Pacers. That was his only workout. And it just so happens that the Pacers have 5 draft picks, including several in the second round. So if there was a team that in theory could take a flyer on him and stash him and to see what they can get out of him, they might be it. So that's, where if there was any doubt, like stuff like that can maybe get you to think another way. But I think that he's a smart enough guy to where he realizes, the opportunity that he has at Nebraska next season and the spotlight he'll have, both just on the court and off the court. And with Nebraska's work that they've done to maximize the passive income, NIL opportunities for international student athletes, that I think the pros far outweigh, the pros of coming back far outweigh those of making the jump now, just because it just seems like such a reach at this point to where, at least you're giving yourself the chance to maybe play your way into a much better opportunity a year from now.
I did enjoy, and I have it saved in my camera roll, though, of the picture of him ringing the bell yesterday.
So are you familiar with what that is?
Yes, I saw the Husker Hoops Central tweet.
Yeah, so it's a deal where you shoot 25 in a row, and if you make 20 or more, you get to ring the bell. So he
20 out of 25 is pretty good, Robin.
Yeah, I know. Well, remember when he got off the plane from Japan and was still wearing his satchel and made 20 in a row in his first time at Hendricks Center? So that's kind of par for the course with that guy. But cool deal for him. I mean, for one, he got that workout, but two, Larry Bird is just sitting there courtside. So, that's what this experience is all about. I mean, now he has that, and there's very few pre-draft stages outside of the combine where you're going to have that, to where you're ringing the bell in front of Larry Bird on an individual team workout. That's a pretty cool deal for him, one way or the other.
Why didn't Lat Man get to ring the bell when he made 94 out of 100 in practice that one time?
Well, because Nebraska doesn't have a bell, and maybe they should get one or something to that effect. Maybe they could have a cowbell or something that you get a drumstick and Will Ferrell bang on it for every make you get out of 25.
It's a really good idea. They should think about it.
I'll let Fred know next time I see him.
Okay, so let's play out the scenario that he comes back then, which I do think it's the overwhelmingly likelihood for Nebraska next year. He's, as it looks right now, he's your number one scoring option, right? Does that work with the way it's currently set up? I think that's probably been the plan, at least for a little bit. But I'm sure we've talked about this before, but how does that feel to you when you carry it over an entire season and he is your number one guy?
Yeah, I mean, just from scoring volume, like he's certainly in that conversation, if not the clear guy. But I think the difference now, especially with the starting roster this season compared to last, is he doesn't need to be a 20 shot a game guy to where he can be a part of a much bigger piece offensively or puzzle offensively, to where you have a lot of different types of scorers, where you have Bryce Williams, who's an excellent 3-point shooter. You got Rink Mast, who can operate Derek Walker style out of the high post. You've got other guys where last year, if Keisei wasn't scoring, which good for Nebraska, he did a lot of towards the end of the year. But if he was off, they had a real hard time finding that same level of spark offensively, to where I don't think the drop off will be nearly as dramatic. So that's what I'm most curious about. You talk about just him coming back next year. You can make the argument that when Keisei is at his best, it's when he is in that volume shooting role, where he is getting 15 to 20 shots a game. And, you've seen when he gets off to a slow start off the bench and they pull him and he only plays 12 minutes, he's a complete non-factor. But when he was forced in that starting lineup and had to play upwards of 30 minutes a game and was one of, if not the top scoring options, I mean, that's when it really clicked for him. So I'm going to be very curious to see how Nebraska balances that, to where you want to continue to maximize that Keisei, because you've seen what a difference when he's playing at that level and scoring at that level, what that can do for your team. At the same time, you don't want to be so reliant upon him to where you brought in all these other guys and are returning a good core nucleus, of young players that also showed their share of flashes. You don't want to completely put them on the back burner as well. So it's going to be a fine line for Fred and the staff to walk with, assuming Keisei does come back, getting the most out of him and trying to replicate what he did last year, while also making it a deal where he's one part of a much bigger offensive repertoire.
I totally agree, and he is such a unique player because of what he can give you and what his ceiling is, but also there's really clear limitations as well. Like we've seen a basketball team put together like that before. They have one or two really pretty good scorers, a complementary piece or two. It's usually not the most boisterous offensive team, but they're pretty good on defense. Like, would that be the plan sort of for them next year, and be a little bit similarly laid out to what you were attempting to be this year, just with the defined scoring roles?
Yeah, and there are other scoring options, but they've also assembled a complementary roster to where it's not just a bunch of guys that are good with the ball in their hands. You got a lot of guys that make winning plays that don't even need to touch the basketball. Where you have Josiah Alec, who is just a proven grinder and a real physical force on the glass. Same thing with Rink Mast. Same thing with Juwan Gary. If you can get something out of Blaze Cada, you've got a physical front court. You've got a distributor point guard in Aaron Eulis, who has shown he doesn't need volume shots. He'll score as needed, but that's not what he hangs his hat on. He's more of a facilitator and a high level perimeter defender. So you look at the things that you could surround Keisei with to get that out of him and complement what he brings to the table offensively. I think this is a much better cast of a roster than even what they had last year, especially when the injuries started to pile up and they were limited with their bench. I think what they have surrounding Keisei now is much better to not just help Keisei, but to make a much stronger product in Big Ten play.
Do you think he'll make like a public announcement or do a video or something like that? And when might that be?
Yeah, I'll bet you he does something. He's a little bit more active on Instagram than he is on Twitter, so we'll see.
IG guy.
My theory is that he's going to wait till tonight, because Japan is 14 hours ahead of us, and so around like 6 or 7 p.m. tonight, it'll be 8, 9 a.m. in Japan, and so then he'd be able to capitalize on the Japanese news cycle and get that audience a lot more involved than they would if he dropped it at 2 a.m. their time. So that's I have no reason to believe or say that's a fact, but that's just my theory. So I'm expecting that an announcement will be made probably later towards this evening, and he's going to let this play out as long as possible.
Oh, if he's so business savvy, he should take advantage of Tominaga. We gave it right to him.
Well, I mean, if he comes back, I think you and I just need to have a sit down, maybe go to 1890 and see if we can work out and really get this thing rolling, because this is an opportunity that's too good to pass up.
All right, Robin. Appreciate the time, man. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, see you later.
Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. So, yeah, we'll see. That's interesting. Get Keisei Tominaga a little bit later. Capitalize on the folks back in Japan waking up early in the morning.
It's a great theory, though.
Sure. Yeah. I wonder, and then, there's always like the in-between, like, all right, they haven't made an announcement, but did they do it? Are they going to make an announcement, or what's going to happen? I genuinely don't know about Trey. I feel like Keisei's coming back. You never know, but I feel like Keisei's coming back. You can make a great case either way for Trey Alexander. He sort of feels like, once again, maybe the stock is pretty good right now, and you've accomplished what you've needed to accomplish at the college level, and he can leave with the Trey. I'm talking about Trey now. He can leave with the sort of like, all right, Creighton's gonna be fine. Creighton's gonna be okay. Like, you can leave that in good hands. No doubt what he's meant, sort of emotionally, and he's been a great safety net for Creighton for the last 2 years. So maybe now's his time, or maybe he comes back and tries to go to that next level. We'll see. I genuinely don't know. We will be back. Josh has the top 5, which is
Connor. This is by request by you last week. Top 5 poll questions from the month of May.
May 31st. Yes, we look back at the things that we have done well. We love patting ourselves on the back. Next on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
Here's what you need to know. You can make fun of us all you want, but we have a certain mindset that of the 1.9 million people that live in this state and that support their respective schools, we love our sports here and we support our sports and we go to events. And it doesn't matter, again, if you're winning or losing, it seems, we will go and support it. That's what we do here. We like sports.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Your Wednesday afternoon forecast will include the potential of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Chances will be hit and miss all across the Omaha metro. Otherwise, partly cloudy conditions with afternoon highs approaching the upper 80s and lower 90s. For tonight, partly cloudy to mostly clear conditions with a morning low of 65 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
Hi again, everybody. Kent Pavelka courtside, getting ready for hail season with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. When hailstones fall, be sure to make the right call. Just one call to the experts at John Higgins Weather Guard to work directly with your insurance provider. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau for the highest level of customer service. There are so many reasons, so many fans have used the winning team for their roof at John Higgins Weather Guard. Remember, when hailstorms fall, make the right call. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. Volleyball outside hitter Nora Sis has returned to the women's under-21 USA volleyball roster. For the second straight year, Sis made the cut and will compete for Team USA at the Pan American Cup in Mexico. In other Jays volleyball news, the team announced a new assistant coach. Adam Kesenich arrives from Northeastern to join Coach Kirsten Bernthal Booth's staff. Kesenich also spent time at Minnesota as a volunteer assistant when the Gophers made the 1999 Final Four.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Attention sales professionals. NRG Media is looking for an accomplished business-to-business salesperson who wants to take their success and skills to a new level. Is this you? Our account executives work with local businesses to create marketing plans to help them get more customers. On air, digital, on-site, audio, video, it's all part of what you could sell. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Get more info and apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. PACE provides an opportunity to develop discipline, self-esteem, and positive moral values through wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Let us talk about the three most surprising things about modern LASIK at Kugler Vision. The first, how fast that LASIK procedure is. With Kugler Vision's leading-edge technology, we're talking just a few minutes per eye. Incredibly speedy. And how about this for number two? How comfortable the procedure is. So often from their patients, they hear, wait, that's it? It's over? They make sure that you are relaxed and comfortable, as well as knowing exactly what is happening. And this for number three, how quickly you can get back to normal life. Patients typically drive themselves to Kugler Vision the very next day for their follow-up visit. So you're back in action less than 24 hours later. Kugler Vision right now, they have special pre-summer savings on modern LASIK or any of their other advanced vision correction procedures. If you've ever thought about fixing your bad vision, the Kugler Vision Eye Analysis is your first step. Do so today. Schedule one online at kuglervision.com.
All right, one of my favorite top fives, probably my favorite top five of each month, where Josh will take us back through our previous month and look at our favorite poll questions. Now, this is all at Josh's discretion, so he gets to choose. I believe he'll have some honorable mentions as well, or maybe not. Maybe we just sucked this month.
No. I'll give you the most voted on, the most lopsided.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Things like
good.
that.
Yeah. So I can't help but think May was a little light in terms of poll questions in general, but I'm sure we had some winners in there somewhere.
Oh yeah.
find
Before we get to the proper five, the most voted on poll question this month has been, are electric mowers lib machines? That comes from Friday, May 5th.
Yeah.
In our gas mower lib machine debate.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me.
52.6% of the audience said yes. As an owner of a lib machine, I would even vote yes to this. So.
They do just sound pretty lib.
Yeah, they do. Most lopsided poll question of the month came from Tuesday, May 9th. Do you know the price of a good cashmere hat?
Most people said no.
95.5% said no.
Yeah.
If that gives you a nice baseline for the number of trolls we have in the audience.
Yeah, at least 5% on a daily basis.
Yes. Let's get into the top 5, shall we?
Gosh, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
This comes from Friday, May 19th. It is the wordiest of the 5 poll questions. Should Cat Stevens write a song about the father-son relationship that develops inside of garages and workshops?
Good one. I was proud of that one.
61% of the audience said yes.
Wow.
I believe we even made Chat GPT write us a song.
We did.
In that style.
We did.
And it was glorious.
It was really good, actually. Yeah. Now we just needed to get a different music GPT to sing a song.
Sing it for us. Yes. Yes.
That was a good one. I was happy with that.
In my opinion, these are all bangers.
Wow.
Number 4.
This comes from Monday, May 1st. And it's the one I kept coming back to as that's just really funny. Like if I was scrolling Twitter and I saw that, I would stop and just go, the hell's going on there? Have you been to a store lately?
Just hit you right in the right place.
Yeah, it did.
Have you been to a store lately?
It was the most lopsided poll of that day. 88% of the audience said yes, they had been to a store lately.
Some people say that
brick and mortar's dead. No way.
Some people say that they haven't been to a store lately.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Some people let their wives do the shopping. Some wives let their husbands do the shopping. See? I'm woke.
2023.
Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Sorry. Can I read you a headline in between this top 5?
Yeah, please.
JJ Redick had quite the response to Chris Russo listing the 20 players he'd take before Jaylen Brown, including, "You are the absolute worst." You think JJ Redick's going to take a coaching job this offseason?
I think he probably doesn't want to do that job anymore.
Yeah. He might be breaking in front of our very eyes. Number 3 comes from Friday, May 19th. Another one from Friday, May 19th, Connor. You ever seen a sousaphone?
We saw one that morning.
We did. 58% of the audience said yes, they had in fact seen a sousaphone.
Well, I don't think that I had until that morning. There was a concert of sorts going on in one of our radio studios in the building. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. I enjoyed looking at the sousaphone, honestly.
Yeah.
It's good.
It had been at least college since I had seen one.
And a funny poll question.
Yes. Great pieces of content throughout the building.
Here comes 2. Number 2.
Monday, May 15th. We asked the bold question.
On a Monday.
Yeah. Houston, achievements. Do they have any?
You were going after the Houston Cougars.
I was.
Wait till their blogs find out.
Mm-hmm. Big cat Cougs, bigcougs.com is going to come after me.
Yep.
But I've got data when they do, because 2/3 of the audience said, no, they do not have any achievements.
There you go. Josh wins again. Josh was right.
That's why we do put up the graphic. Josh was right.
These are good ones. I like this. So what could be number 1?
Number 1 poll question. It's a recent one.
Like today?
No, not that recent.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
Although that one's great because every time I am told that Beverly D'Angelo and Al Pacino were an item for several years and have multiple children together.
It's really surprising.
I remember it for the first time every time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
I learned it for the first time today. I mean, really the first time.
Can an adult male honk the nose of a clown?
Yeah, obvious winner.
Obvious winner.
Obvious winner.
It was the most voted on poll question of last Friday.
Yes.
55.9% of the audience said no, an adult male cannot honk the nose of a clown.
How many? 55?
Yeah. You're within the troll margin.
Live a little bit. Do you want to see that clown's nose and just squeeze it, just honk it a little bit?
Just a little honk honk. I believe Jimmy Allen told us that needs to be at the top 5 of the year, or he will riot.
Well, no riots for Jimmy.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree.
Yeah, I mean that was an obvious winner. I did like, what was number 5 again? I like number 5.
Should Cat Stevens write a song about the father-son relationship that develops inside of garages and workshops?
I like that one because partly because it was my idea, and I just really like patting myself on the back. But yeah,
That's what this whole segment is designed for.
Now we owe it to ourselves. We got to step up. We got to have some good ones in June.
Oh yeah, I mean June we're gonna have nothing to talk about.
I look forward to the first week of June when I'm not here, and what the poll questions are when I'm on a beach somewhere.
Are you going to look? Do you look when you're gone?
Yeah, I'll take a peek. I mean, I kind of have to, like, you have to make your decision before you leave. Like, am I going to put my phone away for an entire week, or am I going to be kind of online? And I think I'm going to be kind of online. I'm not total vacation, but I could be. Who knows?
Connor, before we go to break,
I know.
Rutgers has announced some kick times.
Oh no, they're out.
Oh, you got some better ones than Rutgers?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Then do those.
Come on back for the kick times. I'm hungry, and the main course is here. Prime rib is served. Next on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here from my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. The temperatures are rising, which means plenty of chances for you to get to the golf course just north of Dodge on 120th Street and play some golf, whether it is outside a full 18, inside the Top Tracer building, schedule a bachelor or a bachelorette party, you can do it all. Don't forget about work outings as well. You could put together a large scramble there at the golf course. They're located just north of Dodge on 120th Street, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
It's time to wake up your taste buds. Introducing my new Fiesta Line Chicken Pizza. Spicy taco sauce, generous amounts of chicken, green peppers, onions, jalapenos, mounds of cheddar and mozzarella cheese, and finished with a tangy lime sprinkle. Add your favorite one-topping pizza and my sweet cinnamon monkey bread. Fiesta Feast. Now that's a fiesta for your mouth. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Hey, Jay, can you finish that induction range installation tomorrow?
Orders have really amped up at Nate's Electric.
We need to finish installing it first in Maine. Did we hear back from the grocery chain?
It's no shock he needs electricians, like yesterday.
Smart fridge. Everybody wants one of those these days.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
DQ presents how to get the most from your next DQ treat run. Step 1, grab the new Oreo Brookie Blizzard. Step 2, dig in. That's it. Because this triple-decker treat has brownie and cookie brookie pieces, plus Oreo pieces. Oh, that's a mouthful of DQ goodness in every red spoonful. Guess it's time for a treat run. Because the Oreo Brookie Blizzard is here for a limited time. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
NASCAR is known for fast cars, roaring action, and big bucks. The Nebraska Lottery's NASCAR Powerball Playoff promotion features all three, especially the bucks. Until May 30th, buy a Powerball ticket with Power Play or Double Play, enter the voucher number, and you could be one of 15 winners of $1,000 and the chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Weekend. Enter today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, We take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Tell us how you feel on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Reach Gary, Nick, Connor, Josh, and John anytime on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Contact the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. J-Tech Construction at yourexteriorexperts.com.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
We're eating, Connor. We're eating.
So earlier I said I was hungry. And the only thing that could quench my appetite is kickoff times and TV networks. And we got a little appetizer this morning. A little mozzarella stick. Yeah, delicious, tasty morsels. And that was Nebraska announcing CBS announcing that they were taking Nebraska, Iowa on Black Friday, and they were putting it at 11 a.m. And we said, wow, cool, CBS. I have some stats on that for you in a second.
Ooh.
But we've got a few more. This is the main course this is the turkey. This is the prime rib, whatever it is, on Thanksgiving or any other time during the year. Here's what we know about Nebraska's 2023 football schedule. They will play on August 31st at Minnesota, which is a Thursday night. People forget that. 7 o'clock kickoff on Big Fox. It's a Fox game. They will take that Saturday off, and then they will travel out the next week to Boulder, Colorado, where they will meet the Buffaloes of Colorado for an 11 o'clock Central Time kickoff, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. For big noon kickoff, why don't you just cover all the time zones and say something about how it's going to be 9 a.m. as well in the Pacific time zone? Big Fox, big noon kickoff will originate from Boulder at 10 a.m. local time in Boulder.
And the Cheez-It Bowl is now the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll jump back to the CU thing in a second. Also, the following week, Matt Rule, his home opener as the Nebraska Cornhusker coach will be against Northern Illinois. That game will be televised on FS1 and will take place at 6 o'clock in the evening.
There it is.
A night game for Matt Rule in his first home game. Should be a nice little atmosphere, at least depending on what Nebraska does in the first 2 weeks. We also already know that Nebraska will play on Friday, October 6th at Illinois. That game will be at 7 o'clock and it will air on FS1. And then we know kind of this Saturday, October 28th, Nebraska will play against Purdue at home. That game will either take place at 11 o'clock in the morning or 2:30 in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, depending on what network is on, which is another thing we don't know.
Not a night game.
It will not be a night game against Purdue. And then the Black Friday game against Iowa at Memorial Stadium will be at 11 a.m. and it will be broadcast by CBS. On CBS, so we'll go back to Colorado in a second. They just sent this information out. Where did it go?
Connor is digesting it as we speak.
The Huskers will close their regular season with the annual Black Friday matchup with Iowa at Memorial Stadium on November 24th. Nebraska will play host to blah, 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 blah. This is Nebraska's first scheduled CBS game since the 2009 Gator Bowl.
I believe someone in the crossover said a Gator Bowl.
Yes. And Nebraska's first regular season game on CBS since Any final guesses? I think we came to the conclusion that it was like 1987 last time.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Whoa.
At least according to Nebraska. First regular season game on CBS since November 23rd, 1990, which would have been Black Friday. Nebraska played on CBS against the Oklahoma Sooners. All right, back to Colorado. Big 10 a.m. kickoff. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Are you jazzed up for Big 10 a.m. kickoff?
That's what the majority of the people wanted.
No, it's not. Come on. I just am a little disappointed about this. I'm a little disappointed. And I know that there is no other route to, there's no real route to this being a night game, but I wanted to dream until it finally happened. It's like if we're sticking with the food analogy, then I don't know. I was thinking I was going to get something better than what I actually got. McDonald's skimped me and they gave me 2 McChickens instead of 3. Whatever the equivalent is. Or they took pickles off my sandwich and it was supposed to be for the other guy. Something like that. I was hoping all the way until the last minute. But it's 10 a.m., which means theoretically, if you want to save a couple hundred bones on hotel, lodging, things of that nature, you could hop in the truck and drive on back across our lovely state in eastern Colorado the day of the game. You'll be getting home relatively late, but at a reasonable time.
You spent all the money on tickets. You don't have money for lodging.
You'll be tailgating your bums off before a 10 a.m. kickoff in Boulder, Colorado, or smoking weed, whatever you're going to be doing in
Or
Boulder.
both.
Whatever, man. You can do whatever you want. Game ends at 2, a little before 2. And then you hop in the car and you go home. Or you party hardy all night long if Nebraska gets a win. And then you say, Dion, who's Dion? We have Matt Rule. to all the people in Boulder. And then all the people in Boulder will say, oh, actually, joke's on you. We don't actually care anymore about this. We're 0-2. Nothing matters. Wait till we play you next year in Lincoln. And then at which point you will say to Colorado, man, you'll look them in the eye and you will say, as the kids say, bet.
I think that's exactly how it will go down. Yes. Exactly as you described.
Colorado will play each of their first 2 games this year in the Coach Prime era on Big Noon at TCU in week 1 and at home in week 2. So Coach Prime got to get Coach Prime early before they are 0-7 or whatever it might be.
And then nobody cares.
Well, nationally, less people care.
Sure.
After Dion, we remember that there's other college football being played, and it's not just the Dion show anymore. So they're getting him early, and there is a lot of intrigue for Nebraska, Colorado. There's no doubt about it. Bruce Feldman, he puts it more succinctly. Deion Sanders has done something that no one would have dreamed of a year ago. He's made Colorado football must-see TV. The major networks are jumping at the chance to get his program on a big national stage. Early. See what happens. Dan has a question about the Pop-Tarts Cheez-It Bowl. Can it be the Cheez-It Pop-Tart Bowl? A giant Cheez-It with melty cheese in the middle.
Oh, remember when Pizza Hut did that?
No.
It was like a calzone, but it was shaped like a Cheez-It, and it was just cheese inside. It's delicious. But no, as if you remember, Cheez-It had 2 sponsored bowls.
That's right. They had the one in Phoenix and then the one wherever else it was.
They have given up the one in Orlando. It is now the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and they have kept, I believe, the rights to the Citrus Bowl.
Oh, so the one in Phoenix, it wasn't that one anymore?
No. Yeah, that is the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, January 1st in Orlando. December 28th's bowl game in Orlando is no longer the Cheez-It Bowl. It is the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Huge, important news. TV times being announced all over the country right now, so it's coming. But you know what you know about Nebraska, and there it was.
Iowa State, Big Fox, 2:30.
El Asico.
Yep.
At Jack Trice.
Mm-hmm.
Emails here on the Equitable Bank inbox, Connor at 1620thezone.com. Adam writes in.
Hi, Adam.
So I suppose you could argue that Nebraska's played on CBS more recently than 1990. Nebraska played Tennessee on CBS in the 1998 Orange Bowl. That was, of course, a postseason game. Nebraska played in the Gator Bowl in 2009 on CBS, postseason game. The last regular season game they played on CBS was in the year 1990. Against Oklahoma, at least according to Nebraska's research. I would trust them on this. Chris M emails in.
Hi, Chris.
On the inbox, Equitable Bank. A few things make me want to smack my 12-year-old upside the head as when he says bet to me. Half the time, I didn't even know what he meant. I have to think about it. Bet. You look that Colorado fan right in the eye when he tells you, after just picture the scenario. Here's what has happened. Nebraska has beaten Coach Prime in Colorado in his first home game, 34-14.
Ooh, I like that.
And then you're getting, you're getting after it at the whatever bar scene they have in Boulder, Colorado. You're getting after it over there. You bump into a Colorado fan. His confidence has wavered a little bit, but he's still there.
He's down bad.
He's in this ride. He's stuck on this train, whether he likes it or not. But his confidence is wavering a little bit, but he's okay. Because what he'll bump into you, and what he'll say is, yeah, okay, whatever. You got us now. All of our players have only been here for 2 weeks. How about next year we do it again at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln? And this time, this is speaking from Colorado fan, we're going to get you. We got you. And to that, you say, Josh? Bet. That's right. Just put that in your head right now. That's what's happening. All right.
There's a sicko TV Times circulating the internet.
Hell yes. Give it to me.
For the first time since 2007, a New Mexico State home game will air on ESPN.
Yes.
New Mexico State hosts UMass Saturday, August 26th at 5 p.m. Mountain. That'd be 6 p.m.
good.
Central.
So good.
That is a week 0 game Saturday night on ESPN. New Mexico State, UMass.
One more NBC thing on our new Big Ten partner.
Our new friends over there at NBC.
NBC Sports will air Big Ten's first dedicated weekly prime time schedule plus 9 Peacock exclusive games. The first Peacock exclusive game.
Oh.
East Carolina at Michigan.
Ooh.
At 11 o'clock in the morning on Peacock. Oh, Michigan's going to love this.
Oh.
They're going to have a field day with this.
They're going to ask Harbaugh a whole bunch of questions about Peacock, and he's not going to know the answers to any of them.
Here's the 3 Peacock games. Here's the 3 Peacock exclusive games. And there's more coming. East Carolina and Michigan, Saturday, September 2nd at 11 o'clock. Delaware and Penn State.
Perfect.
11 o'clock the next week. And Washington, Michigan State is a Peacock exclusive.
Now that's the, hey, let's try and drive people to Peacock.
That is the, hey, NBC, here's your bone for the year. And you could put this wherever you want. And they're putting it on Peacock. 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern.
What?
On Saturday, September 16th for Washington, Michigan State Peacock game. Let's go.
Everything about that is weird, and I love it.
And then there's some other good NBC games coming up this year, too. All right. We'll see if we can make any more sense of that. We'll come back. We got a couple more things we have to get to before we get out of here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Did you know the Salvation Army has thrift stores conveniently located around the Omaha metro area, and each one has bargains you won't find anywhere else? Come in today for deals on clothing, accessories, furniture, kitchenware, and more. Stop by, get a great deal, and make a big difference for people in need. For a list of store locations, just go to salarmyomaha.org. That's salarmyomaha.org. Thanks for your support.
Kick off Pride Month with the Omaha Storm Chasers. June 1st is Pride Night at Werner Park presented by PayPal. Walk the concourse and check out the nonprofit organizations supporting the LGBTQ+ community. The Chasers Special Community Series jerseys will be available for purchase in the team store while supplies last. For details and tickets, visit omahastormchasers.com.
Omaha Storm Chasers family. Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm, we're family.
DQ presents how to get the most from your next DQ treat run. Step 1, grab the new Oreo Brookie Blizzard. Step 2, dig in. That's it, because this triple-decker treat has brownie and cookie brookie pieces, plus Oreo pieces. Oh, that's a mouthful of DQ goodness in every red spoonful. Guess it's time for a treat run, because the Oreo Brookie Blizzard is here for a limited time, only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 11th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let us handle all the details steps away on the south side of Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination. Blur Events takes care of all the work so you can enjoy the day.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying when they really can't speak. She says her gums have been bleeding. Is there anything you can do? Absolutely. You can try New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Yep, New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore is professionally designed to start healing gums from day one. Right. Healthy gums, healthy mouth.
Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Smile. Crest has you covered.
Businesses of Omaha, settling for a website that looks like it's stuck in the early 2000s? Then it's time to level up with JM Online. Our local team builds custom websites that solve unique business needs. We're not your typical web design company. We're your partners in online success. Ready to take your website to the next level? Go to jmonline.com and request an initial call.
Pretty much guaranteed that Nebraska is going to show up on NBC at least once this year. We don't know. We don't know that time yet. But there's a few options later on in the season. I mean, everybody's that Michigan game's probably big noon, would be my guess. Even though it was under the lights a couple of years ago, but that was an ESPN ABC deal.
Feels like it. Nebraska will have theoretically a decent record still.
Yeah.
Be very attractive to brands.
Do Nebraska Northwestern on NBC. You could do Nebraska Michigan State on NBC, Nebraska Maryland on NBC.
Nebraska Northwestern, like you can talk about its meaningfulness, but it produces a good game most of the time.
Usually.
It is competitive.
Unless it's 56-7.
Unless that one time.
Usually. It produces something. It produced me freaking out last year. That's what it.
Remember that onside kick?
Yeah, I do. But will Nebraska show up on Peacock only at any point this year? We wait. We wait and find out.
You said there will be 9 exclusive?
I believe that was the number, yes.
And 3 of them have already been announced?
3 of them have been announced.
I like their chances to avoid Peacock.
Okay. We shall see. Once again, if you missed it, Nebraska will start off the season at Minnesota on Fox on the Thursday night game at Colorado, big noon, which is 11 a.m. here, which is 10 a.m. there on Fox. Northern Illinois FS1 as a night game for the home opener. And the Black Friday matchup with Iowa will be on CBS, and it will take place at 11 o'clock in the morning. Kegs and eggs right after a lovely Thanksgiving. We didn't talk about Logan Smothers yesterday. Let's do this real quick.
Okay.
Actually, let me push that just 2 minutes. A lot of back and forth about Trey Alexander right now, and I saw an exchange that is very good. So there's basically 2 burner accounts that were reporting different things regarding Trey Alexander and his professional status next year. And they were going against each other. And then one of the burner accounts said, actually, no, I agree with the other burner account now. My source backed off. And so I guess the other burner account won the burner account battle. And the thing that they both agreed on, this is just what the burner accounts are saying, do not take this seriously, is that Trey is leaning toward coming back to Creighton next year. So I don't know. If you believe the burner accounts, lock that one in. Anyway,
Okay.
Logan Smothers.
The burners are saying.
It's a lot like the blogs. It's actually less reputable than the blogs.
Sure, absolutely, 100%.
Okay. All right. Logan Smothers is going to Jacksonville State. I thought in honor of Logan Smothers going to Jacksonville State, we take a quick, brief look at Nebraska's history of quarterbacks that they've recruited over like the last decade. Would you like to join me on this fun ride?
I think I would.
So Logan Smothers was the class of 2020. He started one game for Nebraska, the Iowa game in 2021. Almost won. That was cool. And I think, just to get where it is and what it means for Nebraska right now, I don't know if there was ever an opportunity for him to come back. Obviously, he is from that area of the country, so wanted to go home. They are moving up the Conference USA this year, coached by Rich Rodriguez. Jacksonville State is, so might have been a good opportunity, just the right opportunity for him. But he's off, and Nebraska's quarterback room is left the way it is right now. Let's start in 2022. Richard Torres, never played a snap, already gone, transferred to Incarnate Word. 2021 quarterback commit for Nebraska was Heinrich Harburg.
Oh, yeah.
Also hasn't played a snap. And maybe in line for a couple this year. Logan Smothers was the 2020 guy. The 2019 quarterback that Nebraska recruited out of high school was Luke McCaffrey. You remember Luke McCaffrey?
I do.
Yes. He did play some quarterback for Nebraska. He was thrown weirdly into a quarterback battle, and then he was a wide receiver, and then he quit, and then he went to Louisville to try and become a quarterback where they already had a 3-year starting quarterback, left Louisville, then went to Rice to become a quarterback, and then said, actually, I think he'd be a really good wide receiver. And guess what? He's become a really good wide receiver. Yeah. So that's the story of one Luke McCaffrey. 2018 was Adrian Martinez. That one worked out generally.
Sure.
The 2017 quarterback that Nebraska took was Tristan Gebbia. We could go through the fun ride of Tristan Gebbia as well, who left Nebraska prior to the 2018 season after losing the job to Adrian Martinez. Went to Oregon State, played there for a long time, started, backed up, team captained, that sort of thing. And now will play his final year of eligibility at Ohio State.
Oh,
that's right. He will play his final year of eligibility at Ohio State.
I had forgotten.
Yeah. Don't think he'll play much, but he will be there. The 2016 Nebraska quarterback that they took was Patrick O'Brien.
POB
had a moment in time and then left after 2.5 years, right? Going into his second spring or third spring. Anyway, never really played, never started. Didn't take one in 2015, 2014. They took a quarterback by the name of A.J. Bush. You may know the name A.J. Bush, Josh.
We don't use the B word at Iowa Western.
He had a really good spring game once and never really saw him that much on the field. 2013 was a guy by the name of Johnny Stanton, who up until last year or 2 years ago was still kicking around as a fullback in the NFL. Good for him. 2012 was a guy by the name of Tommy Armstrong, who had a pretty good 4-year career at Nebraska and now is the quarterback of the league champion Omaha Beef.
10-0 regular season.
2011, they took a guy by the name of Bubba Starling. He was here for a fan day once and then went on to become the second, third, fourth overall pick in the Major League Draft by the hometown Kansas City Royals and went there and had a really good minor league career.
Retired.
Never really came to fruition for him at the major league level. Did get a crack in the COVID year. And didn't quite pan out, but he made a lot of money. And we end in 2010 just because I wanted to end on this name, and that would be the quarterback that they took in 2010 named Breon Carnes, who once again had a very good spring game. Now, I will say this. There are two historically significant starters in the Nebraska football record books in among these names, and that would be Tommy Armstrong and Adrian Martinez. Their names are all over the record books. They're responsible for a whole lot of total offense. There are a few names that never played a snap at quarterback, and there are a few names that are more famous at Nebraska for their one spring game, for their one cool spring game.
Oh, we love a one cool spring game.
We do love a one cool spring game. Poll question. Do we love a one cool spring game guy? We kind of do. Breon Carnes fits, smack dab in the middle of that category. AJ Bush, same thing. I'm sure Tristan Gebbia actually had a really good spring game before it would have been Adrian would have been here already for the spring game, I think. He was an early enrollee guy. Anyway, a lot of good spring game guys, a lot of guys who never played, a lot of guys who ended up playing other positions, including baseball, and then and then a couple of historically significant guys. Just thought I'd take you down that road real quick. Not a commentary on anything, really. You can take that information, Josh, and you do whatever you would need to do with it.
I have some takeaways from it for sure. Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead? Give us some takeaways.
The analyzing of who will be the future quarterback of Nebraska needs to be better.
Good takeaway.
Thank you.
Good takeaway.
Thank you.
Also, it doesn't. I'll give those individual guys some credit. The fact that there was 3 different head coaches over that period of time probably doesn't help.
Sure.
Several different offenses over that period of time probably doesn't help.
Like certain instances, like, give me the McCaffrey kid. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, you're not saying no to that.
It's a bit bungled in that situation. All right. A fun trip down memory lane. We'll come back. Poll questions, tell you what to watch next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
They're not playing at Michigan State. No, they're playing in Detroit's Ford Field. Because the soft-ass East can't play outdoors in the month of November because their tolerances. Dude, this is legit pathetic. This is November. So for them to give up a home game in November, are you serious with this? We're not talking about January here, man. We're talking about November football.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Your Wednesday afternoon forecast will include the potential of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Chances will be hit and miss all across the Omaha metro. Otherwise, partly cloudy conditions with afternoon highs approaching the upper 80s and lower 90s. For tonight, partly cloudy to mostly clear conditions with a morning low of 65 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
The cigar enthusiasts at Hearth Cigars and Pipes are a pretty diverse bunch of humans. Some enjoy an adult beverage or two, others pass the time with a competitive yet friendly game of dominoes. Still others enjoy shooting some pool downstairs, while more than a few are just satisfied with each other's company. The common thread with all of them is the awesomeness that is their favorite cigar from the humidor. Hearth Cigars and Pipes, just off the 48th Street exit from I-680 at the corner of Mormon Bridge Road and McKinley, and at hearthcigars.com.
Peerless Energy Systems is Nebraska and Iowa's locally owned and operated authorized solar air compressor distributor. Peerless Energy Systems provides products and solutions for compressed air systems, helping companies in manufacturing, food processing, transportation, auto body repair, car dealers, and more. Driving industry efficiency through service, support, and relationships, let Peerless Energy Systems help you increase efficiency with your compressed air systems today. PeerlessEnergy.com.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 11th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let us handle all the details steps away on the south side of Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination. Blur Events takes care of all the work so you can enjoy the day.
Hey, Jay, can you finish that induction range installation tomorrow?
Orders have really amped up at Nate's Electric.
We need to finish installing it first in Maine. Did we hear back from the grocery chain?
It's no shock he needs electricians, like yesterday.
Smart fridge. Everybody wants one of those these days.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. Volleyball outside hitter Nora Sis has returned to the women's under-21 USA volleyball roster. For the second straight year, Sis made the cut and will compete for Team USA at the Pan American Cup in Mexico. In other Jays volleyball news, the team announced a new assistant coach. Adam Kesenich arrives from Northeastern to join Coach Kirsten Bernthal-Booth's staff. Kesenich also spent time at Minnesota as a volunteer assistant when the Gophers made the 1999 Final Four.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Berry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Hi, this is Kathy Kenoyer with Kenoyer Garden Center. The beauty and color of spring is in our greenhouse, featuring thousands of gorgeous hanging baskets and hundreds of varieties of Kenoyer grown product. Come in and talk with our family of employees who will help you find what you're looking for. Whether it's home decor, annuals, perennials, shrubs, tropicals, or vegetables, we have it all. Kenoyer Garden Center is located between Highway 370 and Cornhusker on 66th Street in Papillion. Open daily, 9 to 7.
At Kenoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
Tired of having a website that doesn't reflect the quality of your brand? At JM Online, we specialize in custom websites for unique business needs. Your website should be more than just a digital billboard. It should be a powerful tool that grows your business. Awarded Omaha's best web developers in 2023, we're dedicated to local business success. So if you're ready to take your website to the next level, go to jmonline.com and request a call.
It's spring. Now is the best time to shop at Lenaha for all things garden or landscape. Our garden center is filled with the largest selection of homegrown plants, flowers, trees, and more. The area's best mulch and soil available for delivery and pickup. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lenaha Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
All right, just 2 poll questions today. We end May with a light poll questions day, but I think they were both good.
Oh, yeah. Strong performance. It's quality, not quantity. That's right.
Did Beverly D'Angelo call Al Pacino Sparky when they were together?
100%.
Yes. And Al said what to that?
Beverly, you got a great ass!
Who's Sparky? Yes, wins 68% of the vote.
Not high enough, but
no, should have been more. And finally, do we love a one cool spring game performance? Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah, we fall in love with a guy for his whole career based on one cool spring game.
Very early voting. This was just posted 9 minutes ago. 81% say yes at the moment. Josh, those are the poll questions. What are we watching today?
We are watching not basketball, not hockey yet. It's a baseball day.
Are we watching more Braves on the West Coast tonight?
It's a day game, 2:30.
Okay.
Is when they start. I will be a sicko and watch that. I'm a glutton for punishment. Rangers Tigers on MLB Network right now. The Padres are free today. I don't think we have time to get into why, but it's an interesting story.
Basically, their cable company couldn't pay the bills. Their broadcast partner couldn't pay the bills, so the rights go back to Major League Baseball, and Major League Baseball says, "Guess what? You can stream in market," which means their audience potential reach is much larger, 183% larger.
Padres Marlins 5:40 on MLB TV. Phillies Mets 6:00 showcase game on MLB Network tonight. Your actual MLB free game of the day is Rockies Diamondbacks at 8:30. Yankees Mariners on MLB Network at 10:00 tonight. Part 2 of the American Gladiators documentary is on ESPN tonight at 8:00. The series finale of Ted Lasso is on Apple TV now.
It was on at midnight.
Yes, people were very mad because that is not its normal 8:00 drop time.
Hey, I would have been mad too. I feel that.
Yeah.
I would have been really
If
triggered.
they said, hey, you have to wait until midnight to watch Succession Sunday night, I would have been like, no, Succession's on at 8.
Why would I wait for that? I'm rioting.
Yeah. And 7:00 tonight on Ion, we leave you with this. The Scripps National Spelling Bee.
Yes.
The 95th edition.
Iridocyclitis.
commences from D.C., where regional B champs from around the country have gathered for the semifinals. It's just the semifinals tonight. Don't go hard in the paint tonight because you got to go later this week for the finals. Again, on ION.
Not on ESPN anymore.
Not on ESPN anymore.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's what we're watching, and that is the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Crossovers next.
Live from the host